of them. You're wasting all your time and money on models. Paint what you have.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Model Club TV, episode 131. Boom. As always, my lovely co-host, Scott Johansson. I even got his name right on his picture this time. I'm Jason Walker. We're here for some garage kit 3D printing fun. How are you, Scott? What's going on?
Well, it's snowing out.
For those of you, it is January 24th as we record this Saturday. The storm from hell is supposed to be attacking the United States this weekend from Texas to the East Coast. Up here, it was minus 27 wind chill where we were yesterday?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Where we are. Right now, it's only 7 degrees out, I think. So that's why I have
it's a heat wave.
It's a heat wave. I have my Gru scarf on. My lovely favorite scarf that's drags on the floor. The best scarf ever.
I love this. I'm looking at my weather right now. It says winter weather advisory, Saturday, 6 p.m. Central till Sunday, 6 p.m. Central. Light snow, lows overnight in the mid single digits. I was going to say, I thought it said mild. I was going to say, what's mild about that?
I like a good mid single digit. I love when it's 5 degrees outside with no wind.
You know, likes a good mid single digit. I'm just going to say, she gave birth to you. Anyway, all right. Walked right into that.
Anyway, we're here. We've been kind of...
My mind even work like
I
that.
don't even know.
And I just boom, right to that.
We have been talking about this episode for a little while now. We have somehow talked David Stann of StannArts into coming on the show. So we just concluded that interview with David, and it was great. And we'll have it here in a couple minutes when we get through some of the other stuff. How's everything else going, Scott? Doing okay? Health good?
Well,
Sciatica?
my sciatica is still active.
We've both had some health issues this last couple weeks.
So,
doing all right?
Sure.
I came down with pink eye. That was fun. It was the best.
It wasn't stink eye.
It could have been stink eye, but who knows? I was kind of looking forward. I was going to try and stream painting again, but I'm like, wait a minute. My one eye looks like I got punched in the face because it was this one super swollen. And I'm like, I can't stream with this thing. So that didn't happen.
Yeah, but if you're painting, no one's looking at your face.
Everyone's looking at my face. Look how beautiful it is. Who wouldn't
no
look
one
at
looks
this?
At your face. Trust me.
There's people. But I did look like Popeye because it got so swollen. It looked like I was like this all the time. It was crazy. Ugh.
Stop having sex with barn animals. It's only going to get worse.
What'd you call Jamie?
Well, wow. Well, thank God she don't watch.
She does. What else? What other adventures? We got in an adventure. We went to Micro Center together. That was fun.
Yeah, because Mr. Lucky.
That's my new name around here. Everything has
Mr.
gone
Lucky,
wrong with me in the
again,
last.
Bought an out of box monitor, and when he got it home, it didn't work, so he had to take it back the next day.
Yeah.
So,
and then what happened? I'm surprised you're not bringing this up instantly. It was raining.
Oh. So it's raining, and he decides he wants to go for a swim. We stopped to get something to eat, and Mr. Lucky jumps out of his van into about an ankle-deep puddle of water.
With my little barefoot shoes that I wear all the time.
Those sissy shoes.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Can I recommend the barefoot shoes? If you have back or leg or knee problems, my life has changed since switching over to barefoot shoes. And everyone always thinks they're the toe shoes that your toes like fit into. They're just wide box, no sole. It's like you're walking barefoot all the time. My plantar fasciitis vanished, disappeared. Like I don't have any issues anymore. So give them a try. They're like $30 on Amazon. So you can get them pretty cheap.
They got to be stinking right now after that soaking.
I dried them out pretty good. They're doing okay, I think.
So then what does he do? He crawls through the passenger side to get back in the van.
It was this much water. That's how stupid the puddle was. It was pouring rain. Like we couldn't even like. That's how bad it was. And so we just jumped out to go into the restaurant, and I jumped right into a puddle. I'm like, get the.
Only you.
Also, only me. The saga of the lawnmower has ended. With Home Depot not accepting my return, saying that I should have inspected the engine inside upon purchase. So, F Home Depot, F Murray Lawnmowers, and F Briggs and Stratton. Never buy a Murray. Never buy Briggs and Stratton. I hate you. And that's the last you'll ever hear of it. Because I still have a pile of lawnmower parts in my garage that I'm waiting to throw out till spring. And I still have to buy a lawnmower. Pipe froze last night. That was on there. Got that taken care of. What else has gone wrong? Everything's gone wrong.
Oh, you almost didn't get a Wonderfest room?
Oh, yes. Well, actually, if you watched Model in a Movie, as of that day, I did not have a Wonderfest room. And I called. It takes some hoop jumping to actually call the hotel you want to stay at. Because now it's a 1-800 number that takes you to a main hub of reservations. So I had to jump through some hoops to talk to somebody at the Executive West. And I think my charming personality got me a room with the room block after it was supposedly sold out. So don't try what I did. I got the last room, I was told. And I am back at the Executive West. So.
And why wouldn't you stay next door?
I would not stay at the True because I have an open vendetta against True and Hilton at this point because of what they did to me in the fall when I went to Louisville to a concert, and those motherfuckers. So fuck True. Wow.
You're like,
I have a list. I have a list of grudges.
There was this character in the early goings of Friends called Mr. Heckles.
Yes.
And Mr. Heckles was always yelling because they were making noise and he hit the ceiling with a broom and stuff. And I thought of you the other day because there's an episode where they're stomping and he's hitting with the broom. They're stomping, he's hitting with the broom. And then all of a sudden he stops. Well, it turns out he dies. and the superintendent of the building says, well, he must have been sweeping because he had the broom in his hand, right? So then as a last FU to the Friends cast, he leaves all his worldly possessions to them and his place is a dump. But so anyway, but the beauty of it was he had his book of grievances.
A book of grudges. That is a very dwarf. I'm thinking
to myself, you
Warhammer
probably have a.
I am a Scorpio. I most definitely have a book of grievances, but it is the book of grudges, and it's in my head. Yes, and Hilton and True Hotels, because when we went, I talked about it on the show. We got to our hotel at midnight in Louisville, 11 our time, and they gave our room away, and they gave us keys to a room that was supposed to be ours. And we walk in the room and there's people in bed.
Was there a dog too?
And there was a dog. I instantly went, what? And I'm like, we could have been shot. I could have been bit by a dog, all this stuff. And they refused to give us a room. They were sold out. And then they wouldn't even pay for us to go. It was a nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare.
Well,
so I did not want to stay at the True next to, and I told them, I am never staying at a True again. So now it came down to I almost had to stay at the True next to the Executive West,
or pay $300,
or pay $300
or Crown Plaza. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Crown Plaza. Yeah. I'm still going with the old name. So yeah, that's a day in the life of Jason. You don't want it. Trust me, you don't want it. And then what? Oh, last night I buy lychee. It won't open on my computer. Just everything is going.
Couldn't figure out how to put holes in.
I still can't figure out how to put holes in lychee. I need to.
We figured it out last night.
No, we did, and we didn't because you can't. It's too boring for people. Anyway, let's get into it. Scott, you have a giveaway. You have a giveaway this episode.
Let's start with a giveaway.
Let's bring some peace and joy and happiness to the world with a giveaway.
We have a giveaway. I'm going to say from Paul Gill and William Paquette, Sheer Terror Society Starter Pack.
Wow.
Okay.
Like you get hooked on it.
So, this is what this includes. This includes a chop top Lucio Fulci. Did I say that right?
Fulci.
Fulci. Hold on. This is gonna be tough. There we go. Zombie Brain Jubilee. Focus here. All this time. There we go.
There we go. Okay. Nice.
So sculpted by Mr. Paquette. Okay, I'll try to get some better pictures and then
I'll edit one in. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Nice. Okay. People can see it
so
there.
You get
Okay,
this.
good. Okay.
Okay. You also get a Sheer Terror Society member bust. There we go.
Ooh.
Also sculpted by Mr. William Paquette.
Oh, if you would have dropped that, I would have.
It's so fucking solid, it wouldn't matter.
But after you make fun of me every day for dropping things.
Okay. You also get a Sheer Terror Society card. Son of Sheer Terror Society card, sculpted and signed by Mr. William Paquette. Or initialed, whatever you want to call
it counts, yeah.
Okay. And a Day of the Dead VHS magnet. Which is right here. And it's got a big old magnet in it. That you can, pretty strong magnet. So I'm trying to put it on my thing. There you go.
Okay. So if people want to win, what do they got to do?
So you have to answer the question, and then we will choose from the correct answers. And the question will be, what part of New York City did George Romero grow up in?
Oh, good question. What part of New York City did George A. Romero grow up in?
So, put your answers in the comments.
Yes.
And we will choose from there.
Do not email your questions. Do not send them to me on Facebook. They will not be accepted. It must be in the comments down below your correct answer.
Yeah. I don't have to tell Paul you can't cast in this color anymore because the thing won't focus on it. But it's a pretty gnarly piece, actually.
Yeah, so it looks like the zombie from the movie Zombie, the head, chop top, brain fell out. Pretty good. Pretty cool. We'll get
and on the back it says, we are going to eat you.
Yep.
It says back here, so.
Which came up in the contest. Remember I said it said we are going to eat you. It's one of the most popular horror t-shirts of all time.
Again, the bust, the magnet, VHS box, and the signed card.
Excellent.
All
That's
together.
a great giveaway. Very good.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Sheer Terror Society, William Paquette.
Yes.
And
links down below. We'll put the links up there. Head on over. Support them.
So,
support people who support us. We love it. Speaking of the contest, we had that went okay, I think. So the results came out. Heard a little grumblings, but for the most part, I think everybody was kind of happy with our choices. And I will say this again. If someone else judged that contest, other people would have won. If I judged it by myself, other people would have won. If Scott judged it by himself, other people would have won.
Nobody would have won.
Nobody. He would have took it all for himself. So, and again, we are very happy to have done that. Please, if you have any issues or anything, please head on over there, talk to them. We did the best we could with, with some pictures. So I'll enjoy doing it. Though next year I'm putting my foot down. We will not be judging. So don't ask, but I would love to have the person that is judging on the show and we can do the same thing we did. I just want to get someone else's opinion out there, get some other people's eyes on the show. So, but we would love to have the judge on and do the winners the same way again and have them on to walk it through. It'll be, I think, pretty cool to do. So looking forward to that next year. You ready? News and reviews, Scott?
News and reviews.
All right. We've teased this for, what is it, a chicken? Are you a chicken? You sound like, remember that chicken thing at the, where you'd put a 50 cents in and it would drop the egg and it would go, burr, 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 and it would drop the egg. Just me?
Super chicken. Oh, the super chicken.
Oh, I love that. I think some people picked up on what we were putting down. The biggest news in the hobby in a very, 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 very long time. AFM is no more in terms of a print magazine. and a digital publication. No more issues. Terry and Dave made the announcement over on Facebook last week, and depressing. It's pretty sad to see go. The writing was kind of on the wall for a little bit there, I think, towards the end here with trying to get things together, but I don't know. It's sad. It's one of those sad moments in the hobby. Terry and Dave mean a lot to me. They gave me a chance to be a writer. I consider Terry to be a very, very good friend, and I hate to see someone lose or have to close down something they love. And you know, it's tough out there for magazines these days. Scott, thoughts real quick before we talk a little bit more about the other.
So thoughts. When I started this whole adventure back when, and I was just an Aurora model kit collector, and Bill Brugman came out with
Get right into that, Mike.
Came out with it was model collector, model toy. It became model and toy collector. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it was model figure collector to start out with, first couple of issues. And Terry jumped on board with that and kind of introduced the garage kit hobby to a lot of people that might not have seen it otherwise.
I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people.
Into the later issues, David came in and did his first Model Mania articles. Or some of his first. I know he did some for Airbrush Action as well.
Yeah.
And so that was cool. And so that was my introduction to garage kits, really, because I was just going to collect Aurora kits. In the meantime, Kit Builders came out. That Gordy had started. And so that was out already, I believe. Kit Builders was prior to AFM, but not that much farther.
Not much farther.
And I think Kit Builders was more focused on styrene, older stuff, just kind of picking up from the model and toy collector thing. And I'll fast forward to my first Wonderfest, 1995.
Which was mine as well.
And at that first Wonderfest, Terry and Dave were there. And, I've told the story before. I bought a bunch of tiny tears from Mike Parks and stuff. And I believe that was when Janice early on had the Man of 1,000 Faces kit. And I remember looking at the paint job on that thing going, oh my God, look at the paint job on that thing. Well, David had done the paint job, I believe. Pinstripes on the Cheney pants, the whole bit. So this hooked me into buying their magazine. I think it was only on issue 1 at that point, maybe 2. So I bought the first 2 issues and issue 0 at the show, along with Dave's first video. And the rest is history. I was hooked. I subscribed. I knocked my microphone down. I subscribed. It's been 30 plus years that they've been doing this. I don't think a lot of people that come in now don't realize the influence Terry had on the hobby, at least in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And also the magazine was beautiful. Every issue was beautiful that David put together. And, there was competition. There were other magazines that came and went. Kit Builders went to different owners twice. There was Modeler's Resource. There were a couple other ones out there. AFM outlasted all.
Stood the test of time.
Kudos to them for putting that body of work together. They tried to go digital. Just don't think it was profitable. And frankly, I think at least in Dave's case, he was just tired of, you know, deadlines and working with, you know, guys getting their articles in and stuff like that. And they suffered from the same thing we did. To get content from people was like pulling teeth.
Yeah. Content in terms of not articles per se, but people sending in advertising, kits to review, that sort of thing. Yeah.
So,
and I think Terry, in my last phone call with him before the announcement, he said it's hard to and I'm finding this out as we go. It's hard to promote a hobby that doesn't want to promote itself. It's one of the like things that, like he said, that really stuck with me. It's a hard thing to do. If people, and I get it, you can now just kind of promote your own thing. It's hard to support a magazine or even a web like this, a podcast, when you don't have a lot and you have to go do that. And I'm grateful for everything we do get, and I know they were too. But in the end, it starts to wear on you, and it doesn't make things work. And the other side of that, as a writer, no one got paid to write for Amazing Figure Modeler. You were given the kits that would come in, like that was your payment. Like, here, you get the kit, just build an article, which was great for everybody. But when you're not getting kits to give to your writers, it's like a death loop of that sort of thing. So it's very sad day. It's I think it is a giant hole in the hobby. I think we'll have to fill a little bit of that going forward. But I mean, how long can we keep doing this? It's sad. It really is. It's a picture of Terry and Dave, and I did not. This is the picture they posted, and I didn't notice until today. The picture they used for this announcement. That's my cover. That's one of the two covers I got. That's the magazine. That's one of the covers I did. And to see that as like one of the final pictures is like that stings a little bit. Like I said, they've both been amazing to me. And my first time at that Wonderfest, when I first met them, I didn't even meet them because I was too, we've talked about before, my social anxiety kicks in. I was too afraid to even talk to them. When I saw them, like, oh yeah, there's that Terry guy. Oh, there's Dave. I'm terrified. I won't talk to him. Won't do anything. But I did buy my Kyoto Zaram from him that day at that Wonderfest. And the rest is history. Like, it's just, it sucks.
God, I don't remember who I bought my video and the magazines from. I think it was Dave, though. It was Dave.
It was Terry. I remember.
But I knew who Terry was at that point from the previous magazines.
Because I remember, like, I knew who he was from Revenge of the Garage Kit, or Son of, which is the third one? Was there three? Three. It was the third one I had because I would see his picture. Son Revenge. Yeah. So I knew who he was from that as well, and from Model and Toy Collector. And I was like, oh my God, that guy's famous. I'm scared to talk to him. And now you can't get off the phone with him. But if anybody, I know they're probably still selling back issues, or no, they got rid of all the back issues, right?
No, they have some.
They have some. So they do have some stuff still over on the website. When it's gone, it's gone. So if you're missing anything, if there's something you've been wanting to pick up, I would reach out, get some of that stuff. All the digital issues are still there. You can still get those for now. It sounds like he's still going to try doing classes and stuff still. And maybe do some web presence with some videos and things. And it's exciting to see if Terry can make that transition to modern times. What's beyond a print magazine. So it'll be a lot of hard work, I'm sure. But I'd love to see him do it. I hope it continues in some way, in some fashion. So kudos, guys. And good luck with hit the wrong button. I thought we were back to the other thing. Kudos. Let me go back. Kudos, guys.
Kudos to a job well done.
A job well done. A job amazingly well done. Like,
okay. And you wonder, would there be a Wonderfest without Amazing Figure Modeler?
No. I don't think so. I don't. I think it would look very different.
Or would it have grown to what it is?
It would have grown in a different direction.
Yeah.
I think it would have been a very different show without Amazing Figure Modeler. So Yeah, we owe a lot to those two guys and to who else
There
needs
would
some
be
credit
no
there?
Model Club TV without them.
There would be no Model Club TV without them. I also
I
want
hate those guys. I hate those guys.
everyone's pissed. Yeah. But there's two unsung heroes in the background of those two men that have put up with a lot of crap. We have Timmy and Cindy, who their wives, who have dealt with a lot of garbage for a very long time, and going to dumb model shows, talking to us weirdos, and having to hang out with us once a year it's that tries on you a bit. So thank you to them as well.
Great. Both,
amazing people.
And just like our guest we're going to have on, supportive wives through all this.
It's tough, man. It's a sad day. It really it bums me out. But it's the world we're in, which brings us to our next topic, which came up, and this came up because of an email. Someone, I'm not going to leave his name out, asked what I knew about Blackheart Enterprises selling off the company. And I was like, that's news to me. But then I kind of, like, after I thought about it and talking to him, I'm like, oh yeah, George had talked about like scaling things back quite a bit. And so I don't think it's a shock. How many years has George been doing this, Mr. Johansson?
Well, over 30.
Yeah, yep, about the same as Amazing Figure Modeler.
Yeah, he was out there then. Now, I know he took a little hiatus and then came back. Bigger and better, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But I think George retired and wants to really be retired now.
Yeah. And you can, I think, attest to probably what he's going through.
I can, and I also know just from talking to a lot of producers that it's hard to get people to cast for them anymore. Okay, so that's part of the problem. It is you don't want to do it for yourself. You're counting on other people, and as this hobby has been more than happy to show, the more you count on other people, the harder it gets. Okay. I'm sure there's a bunch of producers out there that could say, yeah, you're right. Yep. And so the hobby's changed. George is getting old. I think he's going to be 80 now.
80? I thought it was 90. Wow, that's pretty good.
Okay, yeah. Well, 80, 90. He looks good for his age, But no,
it's the cocoa butter. That's what it is. They get to moisturize their skin
cocoa butter.
White people look super old because we don't moisturize. That was a big comedy bit. Who was that? I forget who it was.
Bill Burr. Yeah.
Bill Burr. Yeah, we look ancient.
Yeah. He said, "Yeah, guys. Yeah, lotion isn't just for jerking off."
No.
But anyway, no, George is not 80 or 90 or 100. But well deserved. George was a judge and saw and heard a lot of things over his time, and I think he deserves to retire and just be peaceful.
And I want our audience to respect that too. So I'm not trying to be a jerk about it, but people, and I want people to understand when we decide to finally hang this up, that this isn't our life. Blackheart isn't George's life. AFM shouldn't be Terry's life. We should have space. You should have time to live your life and enjoy life instead of constantly worrying about other people. At some point, you got to take some advice and worry about you and spend some time focused on your life, your family, and doing what makes you happy. And it's tough. It's tough when you're in a very public thing like this or a public company where you're constantly trying to work with people to get things done. You can't look down on George for saying, I want to hang it up. I'm done. You can't look back on AFM and go, hey guys, you got to keep doing it. You got to keep doing it. It's selfish in a way, as much as I want them to. Life's short. life is very, very short.
And these are 3 big hobby, for our hobby anyway, icons.
Yeah.
That are stepping back.
Yeah.
And it's a shame to see that. So,
and like I said, like we've talked about,
because it's not going to get better. It's going to get different.
It's going to get different.
It's not going to get better. Okay.
Which goes to this is where Paul's going to punch his computer, because Jason, doom and gloom, Jason, I'm not dooming. Things are going to be very different. And this is kind of what I was getting at, is things are changing.
Here he goes.
Things are changing. And then we just got to figure out a way to roll with the punches. Things have changed. And Paul, same thing. Paul's been doing this a very long time too. A lot of the guys in the hobby have been doing this a very, very long time. And at some point, you don't want to do it anymore. You just want to paint your collection of kits and hang out and talk to people.
I don't want to print for people anymore.
I know. Yes. I know. So there's, you know, it's been a light in terms of releases, but it has been in behind the scenes big news like month since the last episode. The next topic, we became aware, and this involves George actually, and it involves Paul, and it involves a bunch of other producers. We became aware that someone was selling digital files of some garage kits over on Cult. Now, we had debated how much we wanted to talk about this, because we didn't want to spotlight this person so people could go buy things. But we successfully got the page shut down.
And there were actually 2.
There was 2, yeah. Ones. There was multiple. But we got them shut down. But it's a conversation we want to have here too about this. Scott, you want to talk about how you first found all of this and how it came up?
I was first alerted to it by Tony Cipriano. And so we started searching around, and that's when we found the second person. What they're doing is they're either stealing images, or in the case of the second person, he's saying he's scanning the items.
We think there's somebody in the United States scanning.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second person, and then sending files to someone outside of the country who's then putting them online.
Or it's someone here and they're just saying they're from, there's
you could change your,
you could say you're from Timbuktu and they're not going to know or care. The first one with Tony, I downloaded one of the files. I paid $7 for the file because I wanted to see how bad the file was.
Yeah.
Okay. And it was Tony's Howard piece. Okay. Had 4 toes on one, 6 toes on another. There was a button from the jacket on the ankle. I mean, they're using AI then to try to make an image, and the file's crap. Now, I will say I was able to get my money back, because it was shit. But then we moved on to this other one, and he had
wait before we move on. I want to be very clear so people understand what happened. So Tony, or any sculptor, when you're on Facebook and you post a picture of your work, let's say it's your new Spider-Man, post a picture. Someone took an AI program, ran those images through that program, and it looks like it turned it into a 3D model that could then be printed. And then on to the second person.
So, the second person, Tony also made me aware of. And when I went there and looked, I saw Mick Wood's kits. I saw one of John Diaz's big King Kong busts had been scanned.
Someone scanned that giant King Kong bust. And
what's funny is they were charging an outrageous amount of money for the STL.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to buy a $100 STL.
No.
But
that being said, it only takes one person to buy it and then put it out for free somewhere.
Yeah. Which is why a lot of guys don't put their stuff out there.
Yeah.
And I understand that. So, it was, it's frustrating. So there was Black Art Piece, John,
Which I got
Resin
a picture of.
Realities,
So
Mick
this is
Wood,
what it looked
Tony.
like on there.
Yeah. And so here's what it looked like. And this is George's Exorcist piece. And they weren't really good scans, or they weren't, definitely, when there's on an STL that's all one piece, it's a scan for one.
For sure.
Okay. So between John Diaz, I don't know that Mick Wood got involved. I know you and I did. This guy eventually shut his stuff down, but why don't you tell them about your interaction with this channel?
So I tend to fashion myself as a keyboard warrior sometimes. Like I like to get in good internet fights. So I just went on and started commenting, and I asked him, I'm like, where are you getting these from? And the guy started answering me like legitimately. Like, oh, these are scans and I go, dude, you scanned someone else's work. Why are you stealing people's sculptures? And he said, well, they're 99% the same. There's 1% different. So it's okay, is basically what he said. So he was saying, since it was such a terrible scan of the original, that it was different, which made it okay for him to sell. So that's the mentality we're working with. And then I said, dude, you need to stop. I said, no matter where you are, we're going to find you. We're going to get you shut down. Then he starts posting on there that I'm threatening his life and blah, blah, blah. So then I went back in his life. I went back in Portuguese. I said, we're not threatening your life. We're just going to make sure you're not able to sell these things. And then the next day, the whole page was gone. So I'm sure he's going to pop up somewhere else. It's the recast fight all over again, which brings me to the other half of this. Scott and I are not going to be the policemen for this. We don't have the energy anymore. We don't have the time. We will alert people if we see something or find out about something. We will let those producers know. Absolutely. But we can't fight everybody's fight for them. So please, if you get a chance, if you see that stuff, as soon as you see it, send it to the original producer. If you're not sure what it is, ask the person selling it. See if you can get them. Because even on Cults 3D, when you can't directly just private message somebody, it's in a public thing. So if you have to reach out, everyone can see what you're saying to them. So get it in public, get it on there, screenshot everything so you have it, and then send it off to the original people. I think a lot of producers' fears come true of why they've stayed away from this sort of thing. But you can't even post pictures of your sculpture anymore, is what it's coming down to, because someone can steal that. And when we talk,
if they are scanning them, what's that going to come to? Okay.
Right.
Because, and again, I'm going to be the doom and gloom here. Okay. The scanners are only going to get better.
Only going to get better.
Desktop scanners got better. Just like printers got better. Just like digital cameras got better. Okay. It's only going to get better.
And I think eventually the AI is going to outdo the scanners, and you won't even need the scanner anymore, and they'll just steal your picture and turn it into a file. We're not that far away from that.
It's kind of what's happening, but it's not. The AI isn't good enough to do it yet.
It'll get there. Get there. So just
it's support the original producers.
Yes.
Support the original artists. Okay. Don't. In this case, you weren't saving anything anyway. Okay. Yeah. It's like this guy was charging $40 or $50 for Tony's Kong bust, just the STL.
Yeah.
And it's like, and you're getting shit. Okay. You're getting shit.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, Tony got him shut down, or John Diaz.
I think enough people complained that Cults went, okay, yeah, there's a problem here. And they shut the guy's page down. And I think when you report someone, so this is what you need to report something to Cults. They want you to have a screenshot of where it's originally available from. So if you can provide an image of like where it's for sale on the original producer's page, and then I think that's what helps get it shut down. So if you can do that, it's going to help. It's going to, like I said, weird times. The future's now. Everything is being turned on its head.
anybody that's going to buy these probably isn't going to buy from the original producer.
No.
Okay. And it's like recasting to a point. Okay. People that were buying recast weren't going to buy from the original producers anyway. But it's the principle of you're stealing. Okay.
And that's always been a problem in this hobby in the first place is
and it is. And then the argument comes up, oh, well, you don't own the IP rights, blah, 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 blah. And it's like,
which is true. But it's hard for me to, I understand that argument, but the other side of that argument is you're taking someone's work that has nothing to do with the IP and just stealing their work. You're not, it's shitty. It is just a shitty thing to do. Don't do it. If we see doing it, we will forward it on. If I can report it, I will. But I can't get into long, extended internet fights that aren't about politics because that's where I save my energy for. But come on, it's
and I've done enough of it.
Yeah,
I've done
Scott,
enough of it.
And I'll talk for Scott here. Scott has gone out of his way and I think lost some of his love for the hobby, fighting people's battles for him. Scott, you don't have to say anything. For years, trying to get things on principle done correctly. We can't do that anymore. So producers, fight for yourselves, fight for what you've made, fight for what you've created. Stand up for yourself. It's time. We can't let this happen. And like I said, it's too late for a lot of this AI stuff. Be careful. Watermark your pictures. I don't know if that will mess up an AI image. So watermark the hell out of your pictures when you're posting sculptures or something that you don't want turned in. I don't know if it'll
post full pictures.
Don't post full pictures.
You know,
although I think that they could probably stitch pictures together, but
yeah, I mean,
but you're right. It's a start. I wouldn't post a full. Don't post 3D turnarounds.
And the technology isn't quite there yet to get good results. So I can't understand people that are taking the time to even do this. But that's
I don't know who buys it. Like who wants a crappy scan? Like I don't get it. And I, like you said earlier, I think the lucky side of the guy was charging so much money that a lot of people, he did not have a lot of sales.
Yeah, one guy was, yeah.
But man, it's weird times. Well, we have an expansion of the hobby of something I did not expect. So I got an email from Joe Heil. Hi, Jason. We have created a new collection forum in the Model Clubhouse. It is a place for people to post pics and descriptions of their entire collections. To kick it off, we have already pre-populated it with collections from several Clubhouse members. So there's some really cool stuff posted in there already. We would appreciate if you shared it on the next episode. Absolutely. Here it is. We hope that many other modelers will check it out and share/post pictures of their collections. So the one thing that we thought was, antiquated and gone, and we're going now talking about AI back to the old style forum of posting your images. They've added a new page where you can post your collection. Everybody head on over to the clubhouse1.net. I'll have the link down below. Check out people's collections. There's some real quick because I just got this like yesterday or the day before. You have Derek Conlon's, Tim Casey's, Kevin T's, Squiddy's. There's a lot of stuff there. Graybeards, that's Paul Gill's collection, might be in there. So check it out. I think it's, again, if you're not a member of the Clubhouse, let's get over there, join up, see some cool stuff, and post your stuff. Thoughts, Scott?
It's good to see. I've had my issues with the Clubhouse in the past.
Which stemmed from what we were talking about earlier, I think.
Stemmed a lot, yeah. And, and I'll still say this, and I go on Facebook, and I'm on a few different groups on Facebook and all that. The Clubhouse was still the one central place you could go for everything. And because of Facebook, I think that's really hurt that. And that it kind of sucks because it was a nice central place you could go. It had a nice buy and sell forum, coming kits forum, there was a lot of stuff there and people kind of abandoned it for whatever their reasons were. But a lot of it is the Facebook. And the Facebook thing is the different, and I've talked about this too, the different factions, people can control their Facebook page. Okay. And they couldn't control the clubhouse.
Yeah.
Okay. And so to keep control, they did their own Facebook stuff. And so now, I've got a shit ton of Facebook groups and stuff I'm in that I hardly see anything new anymore because I don't go to most of them. If I start to go to them, then they start appearing in my feed again. But if I don't,
Yeah.
then they don't. I have people call me, hey, did you see so-and-so's new blah, 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 blah? No, I didn't. Where's it at? Oh, it's in blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay. Then I'll go there and look at it. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. So it's, and you don't have Buck's site anymore, too, where you could go and look at the new kits of the year, So it's.
I mean, that goes to, Buckwheat with falls into that AFM and George thing. He was doing that for forever, for free, for fun, like he can't keep doing that forever. So it's
that being said, though, Buck does still have a site.
Yeah.
And you can still go visit it and look at kits and get some information.
And you can download, I'll put a link up to Buck's site too for people who don't know about it. You can download a PDF of the previous years with kits that were released those years and stuff. So that it's a great database for stuff. We actually used it the other day for something.
Yeah.
So excellent. I just keep it coming, guys. So that's awesome. I'd love to see the clubhouse pick up again. It's tough for me to get there just because of all the stuff we do here, but I'll try and get some pictures up there, collection pictures at some point. Yeah, I love seeing that stuff back. It's good. Great idea. Glad they're doing it. So, all right. The first, we only have a couple things new release wise, and Thrust Resin sent this in, and I want to go make sure I don't mess this up. And I love that Richard over at Thrust Resin has did the phonetic spelling of Ilea so that we don't mess that up or I say it wrong. Kit info. So here's Thrust Resin. Everybody, Facebook page, website, stuff will be linked down below, of course, as always. We have Ilea from Star Trek the Motion Picture. It's a 1/6 scale 12-piece kit, comes with clear shoes with strap, 99 plus shipping. And so there's the inspiration. Here's the turnaround. Leave that there for a second. Custom
Mike Tyson.
Custom scales are available. There are several options available for customization. A standard head with a transceiver attached, a head with an opening on the neck to place the provided jewel. A clear head neck is available for customization if you want to light the transceiver on her throat. And so there's some cool stuff. There's, I think, one of the digital renderings. And there's that you can light that from the inside, which would be kind of fun. That'd be like have that thing actually light up. So lots of cool stuff. Thrust Resin, great stuff. Go back to that turnaround. Comments too. Available now, actually. Reach out. Thrust Resin. Thanks again, Thrust Resin, for sending stuff in and doing a really good job of sending stuff in. But I don't mess it up. Unless I probably did mess it up because, I'm terrible. All right, up next. Our next kit is from Jeff Yeager and cast by Paul Gill. We have The Mummy, Christopher Lee. The Hammer Collection. The 1/8 scale Hammer Collection, that series that he's been doing. Great stuff. Love the textures on this guy. Some different turnarounds. It's probably priced very similar to the other ones. Should be available very soon, if not already. I like the simple Aurora style of these, which is pretty nice. Scott, thoughts? Were you you're not a big Hammer guy, are you?
I'm not a big Hammer guy. But I will say I like the idea of this
simplified
scale.
Yeah,
scale,
okay.
The Aurora scale to go with it. So yeah, I do like that. Jeff, of course, knocks these mummies out of the park. I don't know how he does it. He's been doing it forever. Definitely the great Chris Lee likeness there.
Yeah. It's a creepy looking mummy. Like in like compared to the Universal one.
Yeah,
Well,
and I will say, I've heard this mummy movie actually isn't that bad. I've never seen it, but I've heard the Hammer mummy movie is not that bad.
and you can, yeah. Wait, it is Christopher Lee, right? I'm not losing
Yes.
my mind. Okay.
Yes.
Those cheekbones right there made me go for a minute. Wait, is that really? But no. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's cool. And I like this. This is going to sound weird, but I like the texturing on the crotch. It's like a good spot. Okay. The mummy crotch. All right. You're again, your amazing Jeff Yeager sculpture likeness is just, it's right there. Everyone check it out. Head on over to the Yeager Army for ordering info. I'll put that down below as well.
Next up, we have from Nostalgic Resin Productions. They are happy to announce Mars Needs Men. This 1/8 scale Aurora style kit is $75 shipped. She stands 9 inches tall with the base. Shipping begins the first week of February. PM David Horvath or Nostalgic Resin Productions to get on the list. There we go. How's that?
Oh, I skipped ahead. This I think is a really nice piece. He sent me another picture of the gun thing that she's holding with some wires. It's going to be, I think, a little different to add those things on it so they don't.
Mhm.
But very cool, very nice thing. Another, I think one of his
Another
better
big old
ones.
cape,
Really
man. Dave must love printing those big old capes.
Yeah. But capes are not fun to print sometimes because of that. But the likeness, when you look at the actress, this I think is very close. It looks really, really good. So check it out if you're a fan of the film. That's a great kit. One of those, again, Dave's doing something that probably no one's done before that I can think of.
Have you seen this movie?
I haven't. I kind of
Okay.
want to now. I want to watch it. So
Well, one thing I'm going to say about Nostalgic Resin is that Lois is the brains. No, what I'm going to say about Nostalgic Resin is Dave's going out there and doing things that he wants. Okay. And not necessarily mainstream Universal monsters or predators or aliens or whatever. And so some of it sells good, some of it doesn't sell good. But I'm going to say that at least Dave, this is the spirit of what the hobby was. Is you produce something that you want, and if it sells enough, it helps you fund the next thing you want. Okay? And it has since turned into a what Universal monster can I do that'll sell next hobby for a while, you know. Yeah, and you still have people that are doing what they wanted to do, see, but so I gotta give him kudos for just doing what he wants to do, see, and not necessarily what's going to be popular. Your
Yeah.
thoughts?
I agree completely. Everything he's done has been something that I've never seen before. And even I don't want to private conversations I don't want to get much into, but he was shocked to see that I think his body snatcher kit isn't doing that well. And it is a very obscure, like if you don't know, it's just two people running in suits. But if you're a fan of the movie, if you're a fan of that genre, you know what it is. And I think the people, once you find your audience that, oh yeah, the likenesses are very good on those. And it's from the poster, that spot, and it's from the film. There's one frame and it's dead on what it's supposed to be. So if you're a fan, you just got to find your fans. You got to find the people that are out there. And I think Dave's doing a good job of, he's going to start doing some smaller shows to try and find some people that are interested in this and introduce the hobby to new people. So keep it up. Keep doing what you're doing. Like Scott said, do what you like. And if people want it in their collection, That's just icing on the cake. So keep it up. Which brings me to just the next thing. But I talked about this on the show, and it's doing what you want, those obscure, weird kits. And this is something that this is why I think 3D printing is amazing. And I'm going to try and not knock this down because it's not glued together. And I need to reprint it because there's something that went wonky with it. But if you watch Model in a Movie, I talked about this already. And this is just a rubber tire next to a mannequin on a little tiny base. And this is from an amazing movie called Rubber, about a tire that has psychokinetic powers that can explode your brain. And in the good old days of regular garage kits, I would have never gotten a Rubber model kit ever. But Loot Studios just made this little mini as a joke, I think, as part of their jokes. And this is a mannequin half that he's doing target practice on with his powers. The base is just a simple wood base with a crow, and it's just literally a tire. No one would have ever made this into a model kit. And they did. So the original size, this is your 32 I printed all three. So this is the 32 millimeter size right there. That's how big it is. And then they have a 75 scale, 75 millimeter scale one that's about this big. And then I blew one up to make it a little closer to a model kit size rather than miniature. But that's what makes 3D printing great. I would have never got this model kit ever. Scott, thoughts?
I wish your dad would have used a rubber. That's my thought.
Oh!
What?
Ow!
Matter of fact, I wish if he'd have known that you were going to be the best thing coming out that day, I wish he'd have doubled up. Okay.
You're a horrible person. You wish me dead in the womb, dead in the nutsack.
No, not even
dead in the condom.
No, not dead. Not even conceived.
Not even conceived. You want me erased from history?
Fucking right.
Oh man,
garbage with that. This is what happens when you fucking wake up with the piss hard on. And
but someone emailed me after watching Model and Movie asking where they can watch Rubber, and it's a conversation we're gonna have to have on there because it's movie related. The death of physical media. If something goes off streaming, you can't see it like anywhere. The DVD's for sale for like $40, but it's not streaming on anything that we could find. And then in my brief search this morning before the show, I couldn't find it streaming anywhere. And I watched it on Netflix before.
It's not.
Dude, I'm going to make you watch Rubber. It's good. Rubber's good. It's a French movie. How can it not be bad? All right, up next. One of Scott's favorite things in the world. Tackled by Well Winner. Go, Scott.
Well Winner. This was another suggestion that I've been knocking on the door for a long time. Although I had a different pose in mind, which he may do one. We'll see. But this is kind of a classic Calvin Hobbes pose. And of course he's made it into a big giant diorama for me to print. But because that's what he does, because he hates it. Anyway, this is a Patreon piece, which means if you join his Patreon, I think for $20 a month, you get this and another file.
It's usually two. Yeah.
Two, and sometimes a freebie.
Mm-hmm.
Well before they're ever released. And some of them still haven't been released from what I can see. Okay. And I'm going to go into this a little bit and say, this kid's been running some sales and stuff like that. His wife just got a job. He's down there in Brazil. They needed a car, and he's doing everything he can to raise some money. So if you're on the fence about joining his Patreon or buying some of his stuff, let's give him a boost. And,
help him out.
Because again, this is how this guy supports. He's one of these guys out there that is supporting his family or helping support his family by selling STLs.
Yeah.
And of course he gets ripped off, and of course other people sell his shit. We've been through it 100 times. But he must be making enough that he's okay with that part.
Yeah.
And I guess if you're gonna sell your STLs, it's a whole nother subject, but that's what you gotta be okay with.
Yeah.
The second STL of the month will be his second attempt at the ant in the aardvark.
What was wrong with the first attempt?
It was more of a modern look,
Okay.
kind of like, okay, and so this is really nice. I'm anxious to see how it turns out. I got to get on him. You got to have the anttail on the base somewhere, so I'm gonna get on him a little bit. But
yeah.
So if you see an anttail on the base, you're gonna know it's because I talked to him.
Then,
but so I'm looking forward to that. Also available to his Patreon members, I don't think it's on CG Trader yet. This one might be. Is Deputy Dog.
Oh, I didn't download this yet.
And he has done a whole series of supporting characters from Deputy Dog. And he's done Musky Muskrat.
Look at those pants.
And
I love how the pants are pulled up to his chest.
Vincent Van Gogh and Big Duke.
What's Big Duke got under his hat? That's what I want. Now I know why they call him Big Duke.
Now I know why they call him Big Duke. And yeah, the hat's removable and you can use it as a butt plug.
Wow.
So just extra. But so these are some of the things that if you're on his Patreon, you're going to see before anyone else or get access to. Plus, if you're on his Patreon, you can buy direct from him at half of what he sells for on CG Trader regular price. So
yeah, you get a deal. If you do buy a lot of well stuff, it pays to be a Patreon member, so you do get that.
Right. So next up on the STL list, and this is going to be mostly for Chicago area people, is Dirty Dragon. And this was designed by cartoonist Jim Engel. Provided us some reference drawings, and this was kind of done for me, but I told him, yeah, go ahead and sell them.
Yeah, it was your commission originally, right?
Well, yeah, but I didn't really commission him. He did it as a
then,
favor to me. And so he asked, can I sell them? And I go, yeah, sell it. Sell away, man. All you Chicago folks that want a Dirty Dragon, here you go.
Yeah. Local hero.
A real easy print, too.
Yeah.
Nice parts breakdown. Everything fits good. Really good print. All right, so this is another thing that Well is doing. And I think these are different types of files. They might be STLs still.
You'll be able to do this with your bamboo.
But yes, you can print by color on like a filament printer. And then put this all together. Okay. And there's a lot of stuff like this out there for filament printers. So a lot of these guys that are buying this stuff want it like this. So he and Natty Ramos, when they release files now, are sometimes doing this to them where they separate them out by color. I love his Roger Rabbit.
Yes.
And I said, I need that in a regular STL. So I think he's going to do it. I think he's going to do Jessica.
Oh,
Hubba
yes.
Hubba.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And then he's also done Chili Willy in multi-part here.
Yeah, if you're an FDM printer, there you go. You can print all those parts. Yeah.
You can do this as an STL, but you're going to have to take it into a program and put it all together.
Yeah.
Okay. It's which works. It's okay. It works, but it's just
I really like the base. I didn't notice the base until just now. Is like a clear, like if you did the base in like a clear blue, it would just be like a piece of ice. That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that idea. And I liked Chili Willy as a kid. That's cool.
And he's also, we didn't put pictures up here. He's done a bunch of Smurfs like this too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
good for him, man.
There's a lot
support Well. He's done a lot of, he supports us. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
We love Well Winter. So
okay. That's all I got.
That's what we got for news and reviews. That was a lot. We're gonna jump right into our interview with David Stann. how do we introduce StannArts? StannArts has been putting out some amazing, amazing kits for the last few years. And we've, since the beginning, one of the first things I think we showed on the show was one of his kits. And
Yeah.
we've been begging for him to come on for a very long time. And he finally agreed. And I think it turned out amazing. Scott, anything you want to say before we introduce David?
Great people.
Yeah.
Good stuff. We had some rough times, and there's coming through it, and they're awesome. I hope we can get them to Wonderfest.
Yeah. Or at least, or to the barbecue. So,
or to the barbecue. Yeah.
One of the two. So without further ado, David Stann. We are back with David Stann of StannArts. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. It's good to finally be here and get a chance to talk to you guys in person, or sort of in person.
We are so excited for this because, like I said, we've been for a long time online friends talking back and forth about stuff.
And usually going through a proxy like my wife.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The Stann proxy. We're going to call it.
Yeah. She takes care of, she basically triages everything for me, I guess. And really protects the public from me.
Perfect.
She's the PR, man. She's the PR.
Yes, she is. God bless her.
What part of the country are you in? Where are you guys at?
So right now we are in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and we've been in Gettysburg right here on the battlefield for about a year and a half, I guess. So we've been in Pennsylvania from the start. Just keep moving westward. So
eventually you'll hit us.
We lived in Allentown there for quite a while. Matter of fact, we had Smooth On right in our backyard for a while. When they moved to Macungie and towards near Allentown, that's where we lived. And I could practically ride my bike right down. I mean, I could ride my bike right to Smooth On and get supplies if I wanted to. So, but yeah, right now we're in Gettysburg. We're pretty happy here.
I have a question, and Scott's going to roll his eyes.
Sure.
Have you seen a ghost in Gettysburg?
Not yet.
Not okay.
That's not a stupid question. There's a lot of that.
There's some really weird stuff I see.
Ghost stores and a lot of There's a lot of crazy stuff. A lot of people died here, so it makes sense, right?
Have you seen Bigfoot in Gettysburg? Okay.
No, Paul Gill hasn't set foot out here in Gettysburg yet. So we're still waiting.
That's awesome.
I've seen lots of deer. We had a bear not too long ago.
Oh wow!
But no Sasquatch.
Scott had a bear, but it was a different kind. It was wearing a lot of leather.
Yeah,
and he wouldn't leave. Where did you grow up at?
So I grew up in a little town called Cochranville, typical rural Pennsylvania town. Like there was basically nothing there. You wouldn't even you'd pass through it within 5 or 10 minutes just driving through. It's kind of like between a little place called Parksburg and a little place called Oxford. It's southeastern PA, not too far away from the Maryland border. So pretty much like the middle of nowhere.
And then we always ask our guests this to kind of place them into the hobby and like inspiration. How old are you?
I am 55, sir.
So you're around my age. So you're a lot into like some of that same stuff. What was your first inkling?
He's not in the same stuff.
Same
he
stuff.
likes the 33 Kong. You like the 76 thing. Okay.
Wait. What are your thoughts on the 76 Kong?
Just let it out. Just let it out. It's like vomit. It's got to come out. Okay.
All right. So you're not going to like this, Scott. But no. Let me explain.
All right,
first.
I'll pause.
When I was 6 years old, I loved King Kong. And that's when obviously when the 76 Kong came out, I was 6. So it was right at that right time. And I really enjoyed it as a kid. And I actually saw it a couple times in the theater. I liked the Rick Baker Kong. I liked the design. Now, as a kid, I would go back and forth. Like I saw the original Kong, but I didn't really respect the original Kong and the effects work that went into the original Kong until I got a little bit older, and even till like when I started to do my own little bit of stop motion work. then I really had a like an appreciation for that for the original Kong. But yeah, there's no comparison. I mean, I love the original Kong, and like I haven't seen the '76 Kong, and I don't know how long.
But that,
But
I mean, but you
so
that's exactly the excuse I tell Scott every time.
I'm
is
having
that when I was a
palpitations.
kid,
Hold on.
I knew you would love that. But I mean, to be fair, like, so I'm a Kong fan, and I see there's things that I like about each version. All right, I think I actually like the '76 version maybe a little bit more than the Jackson version, just because that was such a bloated, unedited piece of
Shit.
yes.
like
Over edited piece of shit, baby. I don't know. It's yeah.
nothing was edited out of that film. It was
No.
excruciating to get through the whole thing. It's like you had a 90-minute story at best, and they drug it out to what? I don't know. What was the thing? 3 hours.
3 hours.
Long, it felt like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know,
just too
I thought
much.
the last 10 minutes were filmed beautifully. When
Yeah.
he's on the Empire State Building, I thought that was beautifully done.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I had to sit through the ice skating scene to get there. Okay.
And Jack Black, whom I'm not a fan of.
I'm not either.
Not in a serious role like that. I mean, whose idea was that? It was just.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. I mean, like, so that should have been a dream for all of us Kong fans to have Peter Jackson, who was such a Kong fan himself, finally with the digital effects and everything that we have at our disposal now, and then to turn out that movie, which was just so disappointed and just so, they just threw everything at it. But with him, like, the scenes where he's like jumping like kind of like from one face of the Empire State Building to the other while they're shooting at him and breaking the windows.
Mhm.
Some of those scenes were just really cool. I really, really well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only problem I had with that at the end was she's up there waving her arms and shit. And it's like, dude, if I was on the outside of that building, 101 stories up, I'd be fucking clinging on, breaking windows.
Yeah, you and me both. I'd be like clinging to the floor.
Wait, are we all three afraid of heights? Are we all three of us afraid of? I'm deathly afraid.
I can't stand them.
Yeah.
I have to like condition myself to go up a 16-foot ladder and start working when I do
Yep.
like that.
Hey, that's what you got a wife for, pal. Okay,
Get up there, Lord.
Wait.
She's the reason I'm on the 16-foot ladder.
Wait, she's not going to see this, is she?
She's sitting right there.
I might have to keep her busy the night that this airs. So.
Oh my gosh.
But, so anyway, yeah, I can watch the original King Kong at least probably once a year. I'll watch that. Can't watch the '76, obviously.
Yeah, no,
Jackson Kong. I can't sit through that.
I agree. It's just like that was my first exposure to King Kong. That
and the effects were pretty good for
the time.
I mean,
you're like as a kid, you're like, because you're so used to seeing Godzilla in a suit. Here's King Kong in a suit, and you're like, oh, it's the same thing. It's not that much worse than Godzilla. But like you said, as you get older, you go, oh yeah, wait a minute. That's not
Well, like I ran into, and I don't know if you did with the armature because it's a little different animal. When I produced my King Kong kit, and I was working with my sculptor, I freeze framed that movie so many times. It was probably 2-3 years before I could sit through it again because I had just seen it so much. No more. Okay.
What happened with me, I did that with when I did Bruce from Jaws. So trying to look at that animatronic shark from all these different angles. I have, just stopping it, frame by frame, looking in here, everything I could get, trying to understand those forms. So yeah, I went through the same thing, and it took me a little while. I was like, I'm probably not gonna be able to watch it again for a while. But then it's like when it came back into the theater for its 50th anniversary, I was right there and just loving it. I was like, I was seeing it for the first time. But yeah, it gets painful.
All right, everyone's like, what are you talking about? If they don't know who you are, they're like, what are you? We're gonna get to all of these here in a moment. What else growing up were you into? Like, when did you first become like, hey, I'm pretty good at sculpting? Or did it start with sculpting? Did it start with painting? Did it start with some other sort of artwork? Or
yeah, that's a great question. So I was kind of a latecomer when it far as sculpting goes, but I was drawing and always drawing, like from a very early age. I always had a piece of paper and a pencil. So I was drawing in school, drawing in church, drawing in my free time, whenever I could. So it really started with drawing, and I didn't really do any kind of sculpture until I guess I was 12. It was like 1982, and I know that because the thing that I sculpted was E.T. of all things, and he was about this tall, And I just did it quickly out of some clay, and I took it into school that day, and I started getting requests to for people to to buy it. So I was selling it to my teachers and stuff like that. So I had to go back and sculpt another one, take it back in, give it to my teacher, and exchange some money on the side. And but the funny story with ET was, as I mentioned, I grew up in rural Pennsylvania with no internet, and it was like a 30-minute drive just to get to like a tiny little department store. And so getting clay and materials was a real challenge. So anyway, the clay that I got to make this ET was it was like some kind of cheap polymer clay, so it never hardened, and I didn't have access to anything else. So whenever it got warm, like ET's head would start to like droop and stuff like that. So ET lived in our refrigerator for a while, and
Just like
I
the
had to
movie.
tell-
Just like the movie.
Yeah.
yeah, he's in there drinking all our beer, in the fridge. But so when I sold these things, I'm like, look, I didn't sell it for very much, but I'm like, you kind of have to keep it cold. That's the best I could do.
Yeah, don't put them in the window of your car in the dashboard.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing was that it may not have been the most professional sculpt, of course, but it was better than half of the crap that was in the store. I don't know if you guys remember like the merchandise for that movie.
Oh yeah, we have a lot actually.
He looked fairly horrendous back then.
Oh yeah.
Now, that doesn't look like ET at all. So that was kind of like my first kind of sculpt, and then I followed it up really quickly with I did the dragon from Dragon Slayer, which came out in '82, I believe, too. And I started with the head. It was coming along pretty nicely, and until my mom saw it, and so my parents were fairly religious and stuff like that growing up, and so they saw. My mom's got really bad vibes from the dragon head. Like she just did not like this thing at all. So I didn't even get to finish that. I ended up destroying it. Kind of broke my heart.
To be fair, that is one evil looking dragon. That
he was really cool though.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that was it. That was it with sculpting until like 2000. When I do the dewback was 2006.
What?
Was
that your first one?
Yeah,
okay,
I consider
let's
that
start
kind of
there.
my first sculpt.
Well, wait, I want to start somewhere. Hold on.
Okay,
hold on.
go
I wanna
ahead.
get
Go
back.
ahead.
So, what introduced you to monsters and classic monsters? Like, I'm older, so I had the Aurora kits. Okay.
Yeah.
You were, by the time you were 5, they were done making them. So, I mean, were you more like Jason, Dungeons Dragons, or? I mean, you could still get Aurora kits then, or?
So, with me, it wasn't. Well, first of all, I loved all the classic monsters. We'll get back to that, but as far as model kits go, I don't know if they were. I didn't really do the Aurora kits. I did. I think one of my first ones was Planet of the Apes, like the old plastic model kit of Planet of the Apes.
Oh, the Adar kits, yeah, the Adar.
Yeah,
kits.
yeah, Adar. I couldn't remember the name of the company name, but yeah, I did one of those, and I remember I did a Polar Lights Godzilla with the glow in the dark head. I think was that Aurora? That was Aurora.
That was Aurora or Monogram, I think, put one out that had glow parts.
Yeah, it was probably the Monogram because I wasn't really. I don't really recall having access to Aurora kits. Like we had, like I said, 2 department stores within reasonable driving distance, and I don't recall seeing a lot of those in there. I remember like the Monogram Dracula and Wolfman kits and stuff like that, and I used to get really excited because I was so into the classic monsters. But I always had this problem with the way that they look. I'm like, that's not the Wolfman, or that's not Bela Lugosi. That does not look like Bela Lugosi, and so I'd be all excited, and then I'd go, oh, kind of disappointed, and it's just like it. So it wasn't there for me. Like it's like, oh man, it's cool that it's a monster kit, but like, I can't, So I would kind of pass on those. But I was a huge Star Wars fan growing up. So,
do you remember seeing Star Wars in the theater?
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
Well, I actually didn't see it until like a year later. I didn't see it until '78, but I was a huge fan before I even saw the movie. And So when I ended up seeing it like 7 times.
That's
So
nothing.
it is nothing.
That's,
But it's
18 times I saw that.
Did
you
you
really?
really?
Yeah.
Holy cow!
And you're not even. Wow.
Well, so in '77 I was a freshman in high school.
I was
So
3.
that Empire Strikes Back, I think I saw 18
Yeah.
times. Raiders of the Lost Ark, I saw like 20 times in the theater. And then Return of the Jedi came out, and I think I went twice just to make sure I hated it as much as I did the first time. And
It was the damn Ewoks, right?
it was just so anticlimactic, unfortunately. Because to me the first 2 movies were perfect. And then this one just it had good moments, but it was just flawed for me.
Yeah.
And
I like Return of the Jedi.
of course you did.
No.
Yeah, my daughter loves it too. She's like, that was the best one in the trilogy. She just likes to get me going. But I think
I like it because it was the most full of like monsters and weird stuff.
But the thing with the
compared-
monsters, though, the quality wasn't quite there. It wasn't like as fully developed.
But as a
like
third
Yoda
grader,
or-
it's pretty cool.
yeah, okay.
Well, he was left back a couple of years. I mean,
I should have
So,
been.
yeah, I
actually.
mean, I like the whole father and son dynamic of that
Yeah.
movie, and I thought that
Mhm.
that part kind of played to the adults, and then you had the Ewoks, which were originally supposed to be Wookiees. That would have been better, I think.
That would have been a million times better.
But his reasoning was, we can't put Wookiees in there because we've already shown them to be less primitive, like they can be co-pilots of a ship, like the money.
Yeah.
So he had to go with something more primitive, and he had just adopted his young daughter, so he wanted to have like, something for the young
Yeah.
kids in there. So it is what it is.
The
I don't hate
Emperor
it,
is my
though.
favorite character. Like
Oh, yeah.
top 3.
Yeah,
And to see him in his full just evil goodness was just
yeah.
you and your
Yeah.
phantom friend.
I love that.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
He was awesome.
So
Yeah,
let's
I
get
like
to the dewback then. How was like you just sat down and was like, I'm gonna make a stormtrooper on a dewback. Is that how it came about?
Yeah, so I started getting back into to building models, I guess, in the early 2000s. I got back into it because I started to come across like the Horizon kits, which I really loved. I like the old Horizon vinyl kits, like the Jurassic
Yeah.
Park dinosaur line they had.
They were
was
fantastic.
And even like their creature and the Boris Karloff that they did. So I started like, wow, look at some of these kits that they have out here, and the quality is just so much better than what I was used to as a kid. So I started working on those again, and so then I just kind of started getting the idea like, hey, let me see if I can make this work. So I went and got some clay, and decided to sit down and make a dewback and stormtrooper. So I was thinking, I can't believe nobody's done this subject matter before as a model kit, and that's one of the things that I try and do when I'm, deciding on what kit to do next. I try and look at what's out there to a certain degree anyway, and say, hey, here's something that can be done, something that I personally would really like to see. So I used the wrong clay. I should have used something like Super Sculpey, but I used I forget the name of the clay. It was something from Chavant, and it didn't harden. You couldn't harden it, so it was a real challenge, like getting all the joints, especially the legs and the toes and all that stuff. And because the clay is so soft, once you make that cut, you got to deal with every time you touch it just a little bit, everything starts to get fits together a little wonky and stuff like that. Yeah, that was my first kit, and
So how did you learn how to mold and cast?
That was going to be my question.
Okay, well,
Yes.
I beat you to
You
it.
stole my question.
so that part of it was part of it. I did some of that when I was still in high school. When I mentioned I did some stop motion stuff. I
Mhm.
kind of was doing some things, like I made a stop motion tauntaun, and so I had made a mold and played around with that sort of thing back then. And then I also did a short stint where I worked at Smooth On. I was working as a web designer for them for just a little bit on a specific product for new, I think it was for prosthetics. So while I was working there, one of the things they required you to do was go down there and learn how to use some of the products. Yeah, it's perfect. So I learned a little bit about some of their products and some of the techniques and things like that. But I think that the most of it was just trial and error,
Okay.
common sense. Like it's not exactly rocket science. Just sometimes you just have to get used to the material. But
And you
yeah,
learn
so
different things. I mean, from my own molding and casting, as you go, different things that work for you.
right.
Okay. And, sometimes you tell people something you did and they look at you going, "Are you crazy? That's not going to work." And, it's, I remember when I was telling people I pre filled stuff, sometimes they looked at me like, huh? And, my favorite was refrigerating resin. And they're like, "You can't do that." I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And even
Slows down
smooth
the
on, I'll
curing
tell you,
process. Yeah,
don't do it. Don't do it. And
yeah.
it's like, yeah,
The
okay.
first person I saw do that was I just happened to catch like a random Randy Cooper video that he was doing because I've always I like his vehicles stuff that he was casting and stuff, and I saw that he was doing that, and I thought, huh. So it was something I haven't done that, but yeah,
For
you pick
the
up
for
these
the
little
idiots
things.
watching, why would you refrigerate resin?
To slow
Just
down
to
the
slow down the
catalyzation.
curing, the curing
Ah.
process, so you can get them in those tiny little holes. Yeah, sometimes you don't get the like really big pore spout. Get
And
that
or when
resin
you're
in there.
rotocasting,
Okay.
it kind of slows the process down as well.
And for
Yeah,
those that
there
were
you
just
go.
offended, I was calling myself an idiot because I
Oh,
didn't
we
know.
know.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
We know.
So yeah, but anyway, yeah, I mean a lot of it's trial and error and a lot of it's just I don't know, sometimes you have a knack for these sorts of things, maybe an aptitude for it,
Well,
and it may not be as much of a struggle as it is for some people. You know, we all have our strengths and weaknesses. But the do back to that was like it was surprisingly successful and I was shocked. I think I first started selling that for $100, and because I knew nobody knew who I was,
yeah.
right? Nobody, So started out with $100, and I was getting a ton of orders for them, getting a lot of really positive feedback on it, and people were loving it. So I ended up selling like over 300 of those things,
Wow.
and I redid the molds. I don't know how many times to kind of keep up on it, but so
For
that was
those
kind of
is
like
it
the
still
start.
available for anyone interested?
No, I've kind of discontinued the Star Wars kits, both the Dewback and Tauntaun, at least for right now,
Okay.
because I'd have to redo the molds again,
Yeah.
and but we're not talking about a simple like figure kit with 5 parts or quarter scale bust or whatever. Like the Tauntaun, for instance, was like over 35 molds. So every time I got to go and redo those things, it's just a lot of work. And some parts, you're only getting 35 castings out of them, and you have to redo the molds. 35, 40 if you're lucky. Um, so after a while, I'm just, you know what? It's kind of time to move on. It's both kits have been available for quite a long time. So
Well, let's
I
go to the
still get requests
Tauntaun.
for them. Yeah,
I'm sure. Let's go to the Tauntaun for a second.
sure.
You must be a huge Phil Tippett fan, right? Stop motion, the Tauntaun,
Oh yeah.
like all that stuff.
The
This thing,
AT-AT.
and when I had to buy this when I saw it. It is it looks so much like especially this paint job that you have on your website of it. It looks so much like the movie. It is so detailed and so perfect. It was like what I had been waiting for as a fan of like those creatures for like the longest time. It nails
Yeah.
every, because I go back, was it on TV, like the making of Empire Strikes
The
Back or
Empire Strikes
something?
Back. Yeah.
And they're showing Phil manipulate like the bottom lip. Remember that one scene? And I was like,
I
I
remember
want to
that
do that.
special. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember when that was aired for the first time. I couldn't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's so just, so detailed. So when you get into it, when you start sculpting like this, yeah, you're making a monster, you're making a figure, but it's all the other things that are packed in there, like the straps on his boots, the binocular thing, the viewfinder thing, all those little, like the what do you call, what is it? Oh my God, my brain broke. What goes in the horse? The bit, the bit,
Oh
and the
yeah, the bit.
stirrups
Yeah.
and the straps and all that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
how hard is it to sculpt that kind of stuff when you get in how detailed? Which will eventually bring us to your newer thing.
God.
God.
So it's I don't know if I can really say that it's harder to sculpt than the other aspect of the figure itself, but it is just it can get kind of exhausting after a while. Like you're just trying to get all of those details correct, And I think, you know, I'm learning about myself as I go along and kind of become hopefully a better sculptor. But I think one of the things that I strive for is accuracy above almost all else, and maybe even to a fault.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes it makes my projects lag on forever because I want to get all those details in there and get them accurate. And sometimes I'm wondering lately, like, is it worth all that extra time? Because I have to wonder, like, a lot of people don't seem to even recognize the details that I'm putting in there or appreciate them, or you know what I mean? Like, I get a lot of questions about, well, what color is this, or where does this go, or where does that go? And I'm like, wow, how can you not? To me, I'm like, how can you kind of like not know where that goes and be such a fan, you know, of this movie and this model, and spend $200 on this kit? And so sometimes I'm a little surprised by that, but so sometimes I wonder, like, all this time I'm spending trying to get accuracy and these details correct, is it really worth it?
I think
It's
so.
worth it for me. It's worth it for me personally, but I'm like, but sometimes you know, you question yourself, like, sometimes it looks like, I don't want to say that. Sometimes it seems like some things are just kind of like put out there, like rushed, and I don't think
Mhm.
people put the love and the work into it
You're not
because
wrong
they're
there.
just worried about getting the next kid out there and getting the money back and stuff like that. So I think for me it's a little different because I'm sculpting these primarily for myself more than anybody else, because
Yeah.
these are the things that I love, and these are the things that I want model kits of. That I'm too cheap to pay somebody else to. You know, I wouldn't buy it from somebody else. You know, because I want to do it myself, right?
Yeah.
And
Uh,
so I
Well,
really appreciate you mentioning that.
How the Luke Skywalker that was the add-on afterwards? How many requests
Hmm.
did you had gotten for that to make you go, "Oh, I better get a Luke out there for people"?
You know, I wasn't going to do a Luke, but there was one client who was like really kind of he got a painted Tauntaun from me, and then he was begging for the Luke. You know, he really wanted the second one. And I was him hauling around, debating and debating, and I thought, oh, what the hell, I'll do a Luke. So he paid me to do the Luke. He didn't pay very much, and I didn't charge him very much, but it was enough to just say it kind of incentivized me to do the Luke.
Okay.
So I did that. I'm glad that I did because I was pretty happy with the sculpt
Yeah.
overall, and I did that in super sculpey. Whereas the Tauntaun and Han were done in monster clay.
Okay.
And every time I do something, I do it in a different material. It's like I swear I try and make it as hard as possible on myself because with every new material, there's a different, you know, tooling and different. And so, like the monster clay, I loved in the beginning. I'm like, this is what I've been looking for. You know. And then I was like, I didn't like how it finished. I could not. Shit was just like balsa wood almost. And anyway, it was a struggle to get that
What
right.
what would you recommend for someone starting out?
Super
What clay would
sculpey.
they want?
If you're
Yeah.
doing clay, super sculpey. Don't
Sculpey.
even waste your time with anything else, as far as I'm concerned,
Really?
because it finishes really nice. And it's a little weird at first because it does have like that spongy bubble gumish,
Yeah.
but you just have to learn how to get just to tool it. And once you get a feel for working with the material, then it's like amazing, and then it just finishes so nice. You can knock it down all the rough edges, and it just, and then to be able to harden it, that's just like, that's awesome.
okay, so you did the do back in clay. What was your
Mhm.
the next one that came out then? Was it the Monster Bust? And that was
Yeah.
on Monster Clay too, I assume, or something.
No, no, actually, so you're talking about the Boris Karloff bust.
Yes.
Um, yeah, that was my second sculpt, and it was my very first
Your second
sculpt
sculpt.
featuring a likeness. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was okay. This is how crazy I am. All right,
A second sculpt.
this
But
is,
it's
Yeah.
like it looks like it's perfect. And it's your
no,
second
but
thing.
yeah, you don't even know the half of it. Like, this is my first time ever sculpting a portrait, and I picked Boris Karloff of all people. You know, an actor from the early 30s with these black and white photos. You can't really see everything. I'm not that great of a sculptor. I got all these issues, and then to top it off, I use wet clay. And so wet clay, for those who don't know, is is an air dry clay. So it's a water based clay, dries if you don't keep it wet. And so towards the end of trying to get this thing to look somewhat like Boris Karloff, it started to I was there was a couple of days where I didn't go down in the studio and put some wet cloths on it, stuff like that, to keep it damp. And I came back the one day to start sculpting, and it was starting to dry out. So I'm chasing cracks all over Boris' head and his body and everything like that. And I was like, but so the whole thing, my point is that like wet clay was, since it was water based, I had to really work fast, which I'm not.
Yeah.
So it just made it even that much more difficult, right? Because I couldn't just sit there and really try and learn how to do this and get it done right. And so
For people,
wet clay though.
I was going to say wet clay. A lot of people, that's what people use to make masks, to sculpt masks,
Yeah.
and a lot of special effects people use wet clay
Yes.
for that, for molding.
It's beautiful. I love the way it just blends into it. I mean, those initial stages, like blocking in form,
Yeah.
when you're doing a head like that, it's just, I love that part. But it's when you get down into the detailing, and then it gets a lot more tricky. You have to let it dry out just a little bit, and then start to try and get those details.
So this is a good opportunity, I think, to stop and pause and not only say, are you an amazing sculptor, you're an amazing painter as well. And you're offering painted versions of some of these for people. Walk us through, like, how did you get to the point of being such a great painter as well as a sculptor?
Well, first off, thank you for that. And bullshit. Right back at you though, because I do think that, you know, there's a lot of guys out there like yourself that don't get enough credit. I think when I saw like a lot of your painted work when you did your tour,
yeah,
that was one of my favorite segments on Model Club TV. Was just seeing, you had all these kits, and I'm so jealous that you had all these kits, and so many of them were like so well painted.
Thank you.
And I've seen your stuff, and it's like some of you guys do amazing stuff out there. But so as far as myself, I mean, I'm just getting started. Like I'm just learning, and I consider myself an amateur sculptor and an amateur painter. And I know a lot of people. A lot of people will say that we have this negative, you know, thing about the word amateur now, but it's just I don't have a lot of experience doing either one, and so I classify myself as an amateur.
So the only bit I'll give you on that is this: I know it takes you a long time to do stuff, where a lot of guys can knock stuff out. You know, Jaeger knocks out Frankenstein kits. You know, I think he craps them at this point. But
yeah,
okay. But again, that goes to your perfectionism as well. You know, you want it to be perfect. But I gotta tell you, when I saw that Frankenstein bust, and I forgot the first place I saw it, something about it just grabbed me. I said, "Man, this thing is nice." And
I'm mad I missed out on it because it was always on my list. Yeah.
So well, and I always looked at it. It would be one of those maybe to kind of paint that Go-Go style.
Yeah.
Famous Monsters 56 cover, because it just, I don't know. Yeah. I really liked it. I still have mine, obviously. Collecting dust. It looks good with dust on it, by the way.
Yeah, we have one in our what we call our dirty room, and you know, so when we do our grinding and sanding and powdering and molds and all that stuff, so Laura has one of my old painted ones, and it's just got a nice coating of dust, you know, all over his jacket, like that. He looks like he's been lurking around in a castle.
Now, what scale would you say that is? Would you say it's 1 to 1, or would you say it's a little?
Don't start. So I've gone back and forth with a couple customers on, and so the problem was when I was sculpting him, I would say, all right, to answer your question, he's a little small. He's obviously a little small. I based it off of a life-size skull that I had, and basically it kind of, you know, was using that for proportions and measurements, things like that. And I don't know if that skull just happens to be somebody has a slightly small head, or what the story was.
Should have used my
he
giant
did come
skull.
out a little small. Well, like when I always like to look at when I see people doing interviews, and you got two people sitting on a stage, and sometimes you got like a medium shot, and you can see one guy's got a head like this big next to the guy who's just sitting right next to him. I'm like, look at the size. You know, obviously there's variances in our size for a head.
Yeah.
But if you go with like 8.5 to 9 inch head height, I think what I did was I forgot to account for the thing that they put on top of Karloff's head, which kind of like, you know, gave him more of a, you know, the squared off top. Mm-hmm. And I think those measurements kind of threw me off. So
I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters.
I've only had it matter with like maybe 2 customers that were really unhappy about that, because their collection their collection was, they had all these full scale busts, and like I can't put this in my collection; it's too small and all.
That's when
So
you
like,
give him one of these. You know,
So put it in a different
I'm like,
room on a pedestal somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like you think it, yeah.
I get it, whatever. I just send it
Well,
back.
hey, maybe
So
they're
I
just as
send it
crazy
back and,
perfectionists.
So you
It's-
did this. This was your second kit.
so I do. Wait, let me address one thing before we move
Oh,
on.
sure.
The slow part, like I'm so
Oh.
slow. So I am slow, but you have to also factor in that I am like half of my business is painting.
Right.
So,
Right.
So I'm painting and I'm producing all these kits, and now that I'm especially going to the 3D printing of everything, Jesus, all day long I'm just cleaning up parts. It's just one thing after another. I'm trying to get. I got like 36 Bruce kits to paint left still. So I've painted over 30 of them so far. I painted like 150 Karloff busts, by the way.
Okay, hold on.
That was getting kind of crazy.
Let's
to do
stop.
the same thing over and over and over again.
So
No.
you're gonna, in the end, you'll have 60 Bruces painted and 150 Karloffs painted.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not.
Oh my
It's
God.
insane.
I
Try painting the same thing.
that's
over
like
and over.
I've said this on the show before. I had a guy that was specific Supermans that I would just paint Superman over and over and over again. And after about the 20th time, I'm like, I'm done. I can't paint blue, red, and yellow anymore.
Yeah.
How are you doing? So how that is like an endurance test beyond endurance. How do you do that? How do you wake up and go, all right, got to paint another Karloff again? Do you paint multiple at one time, or are you
That's
doing?
what I was going to ask. Do you line them up and do multiples? And...
Honestly, I do, and I did. Like with Karloff, I would do 3 at a time, just because it was saving me on paint. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm mixing up these colors and things like that. I didn't want to waste paint, and I could just kind of like do them in an assembly line type of thing, and that worked out well. But you're still painting the thing over and over and over. But he actually wasn't even as bad as say like the Bruce kit, because Bruce, you've got a lot of parts you got to assemble. You have the seam lines that all have to be puttied and sanded to perfection. Like I can't send out a kit with a seam line showing where the head attaches to the body, and then there's a seam that goes down the middle of the body, and then there's it's a little crazy, and it's like I need a day off. I really need a day off,
Oh my God.
or I'm going to go crazy soon. So.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But anyway, so back to being slow. That's kind of part of
Right.
it. It's my days are like, I swear they're like 2 hours long. I can't believe how fast time flies now.
Right. And I didn't mean that as a criticism. Just so
No,
you know,
no, I didn't take it that way. I didn't take
Okay,
it that way.
right.
But I just wanted to say, yeah, I am slow at sculpting because I am a beginner, and I'm,
Well,
and every time I do something, I'm starting something new from scratch. Like now all of a sudden I'm using ZBrush for the first time. But
Well,
anyway, so
yeah. So the Frankenstein went into the Tauntaun then, right? Was the next one?
yep, Tauntaun. Then oh no, Karloff came after the Dewback, and then I did the Tauntaun.
Right. And then the Tauntaun is when you started to incorporate some 3D printed things that,
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so
that was 2019, I think that came out.
what made you decide to say, hey, I got to learn this because this is, or was it just hey, I can do a lot of cool stuff with this? Because we see a lot of resistance in traditional garage kit guys to 3D stuff.
Sure.
And, so what made you want to transition?
So I had already known how to do 3D modeling. Back in early 2000, I was starting to learn Maya and things like that, just teaching myself. So I had at least the initial concepts down, and I could pretty much do the modeling part. So that's most of the stuff with Tauntaun was hard surface modeling. So that wasn't that bad. But it was when the 3D printers started coming out, then I realized, okay, cool, this will work. And the reason why I decided to incorporate that was because I'm trying to work. I'm working on this sculpt. I'm trying to create this illusion and trying to make this Tauntaun as realistic as possible. And I could have sculpted the, all the paraphernalia that went around it and stuff like that. But I thought it's not going to be as accurate at that scale, and it's just going to look really soft, and it's just not going to look right. And especially when you go and you try and photograph this thing and you zoom in on it, and you're going to see these half-ass sculpted binoculars and things like that, and all of that is going to distract from that overall sense of realism that I was shooting for. So it's like, yeah, I could do this, but it makes sense and it's the right way to do it. It's the right tool for the job. So even if there's a learning curve involved, it's the right thing to do. And I just wanted, it's like a no-brainer for me, because if it's going to help the end product, then that's what I got. Oh, I look at it.
I think you bring up a good point, and I challenge somebody. If you have this kit in your collection, it was probably around 2006. That I painted it, and it came out before that. There's a Death Studios, if I'm not mistaken, Mad Max kit, and it comes with like binoculars and some other stuff. And then when I cracked open the box, you're like, man, these binoculars look like they're made out of Play-Doh. Like, it's not like, it doesn't look like a mechanical thing. And then you go over to your Tauntaun now, and you have these things that look like actual pieces of metal. You have straight edges, because to get a perfect right angle corner with some sculpey, that's hard to do and make it look like an actual.
You're going to spend a lot of time.
You're going to spend a lot of time.
And
so I think that's one of the greatest things that's happened is when you get to do some hybrids kits with 3D printed parts, and you get those really mechanical looking pieces that look amazing. And I'm glad you started doing that, because you're right. If you would have done all those bits for the Tauntaun and Sculpey, it would have looked soft. It wouldn't have looked right, and it just came out just perfect. So
yeah,
love it.
Thank you.
And I got to ask one more quick question.
Oh yeah, sure.
You must have the most muscular arms in the world, because you were rotocasting that Frankenstein by hand.
I do not have the most muscular hands or arms in the world. I wish I did. I wish I could claim that, but I do not. I do try and stay in shape. I do push-ups and things like that. But so the thing with Karloff was he's all one piece, right? So he is rotocast all in one giant piece. So it was a giant 3-part mold, with a hard plastic mother mold. And so I'm like tossing him around for quite a while without a rotocaster. And I actually designed a rotocaster, and I bought all the parts. I bought all the motors, everything that I needed. I spec'd out for it. I was going to just make one on my own. And then I don't know what happened. I guess I got wrapped up in other projects. I got too busy with the other stuff, and then the 3D printing was coming out and all that. And so I just kept rotocasting those things, and just never. I still have the parts, but I still haven't built the rotocaster. And now I'm like, do I really want to make one? Do I need one? I don't know. So
I got a big giant one sitting in my garage that I don't use anymore too.
Oh, do you really?
I built mine.
Yeah, did you?
Yeah. And it's I did a few modifications since then. After I had to buy a few gearboxes at $500 a piece.
It's expensive.
We put a clutch on it.
Worm gears and
when it stops, it'll keep turning. It's like this clutch thing that when it's running, it'll grab it, but when it cold stops, the thing will keep turning and it won't yank against the gearbox. So
nice.
But now it's like, I don't want to cast resin anymore. I have no desire. I've got a little desktop rotocaster too. And it's like, I'll do little odds and ends jobs, but no.
Is that little desktop one, is that made out of wood? By any chance?
No, it's metal. There was a guy selling them for a while.
Okay.
And I actually bought mine from a guy in Pennsylvania who had bought one, and he was getting out. He was in Western Pennsylvania, almost Ohio.
Okay.
And he put it up for sale, and I sent him the money right away. I said, look, don't send it to me. I said, I'll either get someone to pick it up and bring it to Wonderfest for me or whatever.
Yeah.
And I finally just told him, look, I'm going to come out tomorrow or whatever day it was. And me and my buddy drove from Chicago to there and back the same day. We left at 6 a.m, got home at 10 at night, and the guy's golden retriever tried to get in the car and go home with us. It was a good time. And I've had to replace the brushes on the motor. It's not super strong, but it works for, small block molds and stuff.
Yeah.
When I was doing these full-size King Kongs, I wish I would have had it, because I could have done some of the smaller molds, like the head and stuff that I was rotocasting on the little one, and then saved the big one for the bigger pieces. But, life is what it is. So I still have them balls. People try to buy them from me, and it's like, I know the second I sell one, I'll need it. So
Yeah, I'm with you though. I'm there with you with the molding and the casting and all that stuff. It's something that I don't really miss. Um,
Mhm.
um, Luckily, I had Laura doing a lot of the casting. I mean, I kind of quickly taught her how to do
So
the
she's got the
casting.
big arms.
Oh, well, wait, she's not throwing around no Karloff head. That
Okay,
was
all right. Oh,
Yeah, she did a lot of the tauntauns. I mean, almost all the tauntauns, really. And
That's
so
cool.
thank God, that is very cool. And so I would just do, like quality assurance after she was done and check out things every once in a while. But she did a lot of the
I
casting on the
I
tauntauns.
want to say, and I know you know this, just from because I've talked to Laura a lot
Mhm.
online and stuff, and
Um,
you are so fortunate to have such a supportive
Yes.
partner there that she said, "Hey, quit your day job, do this full time," and she's there to help, and she is supportive, and you know,
Yeah.
um, she's a great person to communicate with when you have to, and it's yeah, she's awesome. So
I 100% agree. Like,
Yeah, I do too, and it's
you
it's
lucked out,
something
man.
that doesn't get it doesn't I know I don't know how I managed to do it. It's like probably the one thing I've done right in my life, but um, it's it's something that probably doesn't get talked about a lot, but it's really important when you're doing something like this that you have a significant other that really does kind of support you in doing this because if you don't have her buy-in or let's say your wife's buy-in or what it makes it so much more difficult to pull something like this off.
right.
But she was kind of behind it from the very beginning and is kind of like my number one fan, and she's been like that for many years. And so it's yeah, I am blessed. So it's
Yes.
it's
How did you
it's
guys meet?
fantastic.
Where did you meet at?
We used to work at a hospital together. I was a sterilization technician when I was in high school. I was working 3 to 11:30, and she was a nurse. She was getting out of nursing school and she was working maternity. So this guy that she was dating, I used to work with, and we kind of got to know each other that way. And then a couple years passed, and it was like April Fool's Day, and I saw her at the bank at the credit union, and so I got out of my car while we were in line, and I went over and talked to her, and that's kind of how we hooked up again. So yeah.
When he and Jason, don't get excited. When he says sterilization, he's talking about the utensils,
Yeah,
not the
I understand.
castration that you need.
I understand.
Okay.
yeah, surgical instruments, yes, yeah, surgical instruments.
Oh my gosh.
It's
Well,
funny. I still remember the names of all those freaking instruments, but I can't remember what I did yesterday.
I'm
Yeah.
right there with you.
Sorry, I just took a little trip down
Oh no,
memory
I love
lane.
that's great. That's what I love about the show. Let's talk about the lab equipment. Let's go there.
Okay.
How did the lab equipment come about? Was it a thing burning in the back of your brain forever, or was it just one day you woke up and I'm like, I'm gonna take on this insane project?
So a lot of times these projects just come about like, well, I'm just waking up in the morning having a cup of coffee, or I'm in the shower or something, and I'm like, nobody's really done this. I can't believe nobody has done this yet. And I'm just like, there's so many 1/6 scale figures out there. The Karloffs, the monsters, and all that, the Doctor and whatnot, and just like somebody's got to do. I'm like, I'm just going to do this next. And like when I decide to do these things, I never really think about uh, how much of a headache it's going to be or how. I just think, yeah, I'm just going to do that. Like I don't really put that much thought into it. And then I get into it and I'm like, oh my God, like, what am I doing this for? The lab kit actually wasn't too bad though. It was just a matter of trying to like comb all these really dark still images, looking for the details. Like, okay, what is this? What's this form here? This blurry form on this instrument panel. What does it look like? What is its function? Am I reading that right? Things like that. So that was kind of
And
like the big challenge of
didn't the
trying to get
Strickfad and
back.
stuff change like over the movies? Like, they'd use part of this piece and part of that piece, but not in the same orientation per se.
Yes. So I've heard, and I mean, you definitely recognize some of it in Bride of Frankenstein for sure.
Mhm.
And there's the story that it was reused again in Mel Brooks's Young Frankenstein, but I have never spotted any of the original core equipment. Have you? I mean, like I just haven't seen it.
I haven't looked that close, but again, I think what they did is they piecemealed pieces together. I think was probably um what they did, because the machinery seems to change movie to movie a little bit, or
Yes.
they'll use footage from the previous movie or whatever,
Right.
you know. Um, but and again, I'll say this to people: this is a project that you could have never. I don't want to say couldn't have done it, but you could have never done this in traditional sculpting.
No sane person would have cast those parts.
Right. I know there's another gentleman in Pennsylvania, Matthew Lawrence, who did do the
Oh, I didn't know he was in Pennsylvania.
yeah. Um
I came
the one,
about
I gave him your home address because he's pissed off. No, I didn't. I'm just kidding.
he did reach out to me, and you know what? Like I was super busy with the kit coming out and all this stuff, and I felt bad because I never responded back to him, and like time went on so long that it just got to be like really awkward. I'm like, all right,
That happens to me a lot. I feel bad.
Yeah, it was just kind of weird, and he probably thinks I was like I was being snooty or something, or like, oh, that guy. But I wasn't trying to be. I just got really busy. And,
but it's two different things. Like his, and I'd have to look at his again. I don't know if it was, his was designed to be lit up and stuff like that, and his was nice. Don't get me wrong, his was nice. But you had to bend all at the top of the one thing, all the
okay,
pieces.
I know what you mean on that top part.
And I gotta tell you, when I got my kit, that's the first piece I looked at because I'm like, all right, how broke is this going to be?
Yeah,
and actually,
it's one of the few parts that I left the supports on there in the beginning because I'm like, I was afraid of shipping that. But as of late, I clean them up because it's kind of it's not cool to ask people to have to clean those things up.
Right.
It's easier for me to do it, and it ships fine. I haven't had a problem with. But yeah, that would be a pain having to, bend those wires all over the place. And but like I said, I wasn't aware that he had even done those pieces when I was deciding to do mine. I was like, oh wow. So when he reached out, I'm like, crap, I didn't even know somebody tried to do this yet. Because I don't do as good of a job as I should, with keeping up with the hobby and what everybody's doing. I'm not on social media that much.
That's okay.
I look over Laura's. Oh, trust me, I am not a fan of social media.
Yeah.
But when Laura's like scrolling through all these really cool things, I'm like looking over her shoulder, and I just kind of get mesmerized by everybody's work. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. Oh, wow, look at that. But yeah, so it wasn't on my radar. I may have I may have held off maybe, or I don't know. But like you said, there is room for both.
I do want to highlight there's something else that you do that a lot of people don't do. They just kind of expect you to do it on your own. You provide some very detailed, amazing instruction with your kids. Go through that process. Like, do you sit there and illustrate each one? Are you using it on a computer? Are you doing it by hand?
No.
And you can see it with the Bruce kit. It's even with the Tauntaun, all of it. There's some really good instruction.
Well, thank you. Yeah. So the Tauntaun instructions were actually like half-assed. They were like, I started doing them, and I just wanted to draw out how the bridles went, right? Because it was kind of it took me a while to understand how they were done, because they're a little weird because you got that middle strap that comes in and where that inserts. But so I just wanted to illustrate that, and that was hand drawn. But like Bruce and Kong, things like that, I do that all digitally. It's not too bad. But
the Kong instructions I thought were really easy to follow. Now I know we had a mutual friend that I think had a little problem, but
I do my best,
I gave him some.
You have to understand, I'm doing these instructions before I even build the damn kit. Like, I'm building it in my mind. Okay, this is how this should work. And I haven't even built it yet, which probably isn't the best way to go. But usually I'm so strapped, and I got to get this kit out because even I have limitations, like financially, I got to get another kit out there. I can't just go on for another, 3 months finessing these instructions and then telling you how to paint it and putting in color codes and all that stuff.
So what came after the lab kit? Was it did the Bruce come after the lab kit, or was the bride?
It was Elsa.
Elsa.
Yeah.
Okay. And you know what? If I didn't have 100 kits, I would have definitely gotten one of these from you. I'm looking at your paint job right now, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm an
Yeah.
amateur. Yeah, sure you are. Um,
I mean, just your eye work alone is stunning. And I'd love to have you like at some point, and maybe we could just do a video like in the future, because we've had people talk about eyes a lot. Just walk through painting eyes with me or online one day or something. And
you'd be surprised at what a simple. I don't do anything extraordinary with them.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I just let light do the painting for me. Like I don't go and overdo shadowing, things like that. But yeah, she is tough because I sometimes don't feel like I didn't get the likeness 100%. I tried really, really hard to get. She's a hard woman to sculpt, and she is, because you've seen so many artists try and capture her likeness, and I'm still struggling to find that one that's perfect.
Was this a clay sculpt or was this a digital sculpt?
That was clay. She was clay.
Okay.
She was super sculpey the whole way.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So, and you talked about shading. I just want to say to viewers that are looking at this photo right now, this is how you do white. Okay. White should not contrast a lot when you're shading it. Okay. It's very, very light gray. I mean, very light grays. And you see so many people make that mistake that they go to like dark grays, and it doesn't look natural. This looks natural to me.
So I put a lot of different colors in there as well, like different tints. So like I warm it up, I cool it down, I do things like that. I'm thinking about like color temperature when I'm painting, and I've seen a lot of people paint her dresses just flat white basically, and that's really just not very interesting to look.
Yeah.
So you have both extremes. You have, well, I'm just going to paint it white, or I'm going to go really heavy with the shadows to try and make it punchy, whatever. So you kind of have to find that, that medium ground. It kind of works.
Well, and I hear you talking about warming it up and stuff like that. You didn't go to any art school or anything like that. That's just all self-taught, like the sculpting and everything else.
Yeah, I didn't go to school.
Yeah,
not for art.
That's great. That's great, Dave.
I do everything like the hard way, right? So I became a software engineer, and that's what I did for 20 years of my life, instead of doing what I was supposed to be doing, which is, I feel, sculpting, stuff like that. But I taught myself from books mainly, like going to Borders and getting the Rocks Press books, like these big fat, documentation books, things like that. And that's basically how I taught myself, and then just kind of learned on the fly. And so it got me pretty far, and so that's just my approach. And
is the Elsa still available, or no? Or is that discontinued at this point too?
I'm getting a few requests for her, and I may bring her back, but right now her mold needs to be redone. So I hate to cancel these products. Like I have to keep retiring these things, but
again, people need to understand you're a 2-person shop. You're putting out 150 Bruce's painted. Like, it's hard to keep up with that kind of thing. Yeah. So when you bring it back, I have to jump on.
Yeah, I know that I will probably do another Elsa and another Karloff at some point, and I'll do them digitally. It's really hard, because there's just so many of them out. And it's like, I know the one episode you guys were like, stop doing this. The guys got to stop. And everybody complains about, oh my God, another Karloff. But it's like, that's what people want.
They still sell.
They still sell.
People are still buying them. But for me, personally, it's like, I really love those characters. I'm trying to be a better sculptor. And I feel like I could do better than my first attempt. And so I will probably revisit those characters, probably more than once. But until I get it like just right. And
the nice thing about the Karloff makeup is there were 3 to choose from. 3 movies to choose from where the makeup's different in all 3.
Mm-hmm.
And there's actually a 4th. And there was I think it was The Secret Life of Walter Mitty that he got made up for, which looked more like the first movie than anything. and no one's ever done that one. And it's like,
I would have to look that up because I have not seen that.
I'll send you a screen grab of it, and there's only a few photos of it, but when you look at it, you'll see it's different. It's close to the original, okay, but it is different, and it's
Scott, do you have a favorite version? What's your favorite version?
You know, I don't. I like the Bride version, but and what's funny is again for 19, what was the Bride? 39, 35, 35. For 1935, the fact that they put the details in there that at the very beginning of the movie, his hair was totally singed. Okay. Yeah. And as the movie went on, the hair grows out. Okay. And, you know, so the Bride is cool because it's, you know, it was kind of forever changing. The original makeup is so iconic that, you know, what can you do? And I like the Son of, just because it was kind of like, okay, now he's kind of back to normal now. And I like the fact that every time Jeff sculpts one after the Bride version, no matter if it's Glenn Strange or what, he melts the two fingers together that were melted together in the, you know, just one of those things that Yeager does. But
well, that's, you know, that's also a common thing for sculptors to do because it makes the hand look more natural. So it may not be a matter of just them being fused together like the movie. It may just be.
Oh no, he does it on purpose. It's always the same fingers.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's always the same fingers usually for his. Okay. You know, so it's but I gotta tell you, for me to sit here, to me anyway, to sit here and compare your work with his, hopefully for you is a great compliment because as far as Karloff goes, I think he's got muscle memory sculpting Karloff. But you know, I look at your Elsa and your Boris, and it's like just as good to me, you know. And that's no knock on him. That's no, you know, it's wow.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I struggled with her likeness. I mean, because she just looks different from every angle.
She has a weird face. She has a totally weird face.
Shadows.
Yeah.
What I liked about it too is the pose. Everyone wants to. I mean, she's not in the movie that long.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is from a behind the scenes picture. For those that don't know, it's from a behind the scenes picture where she's putting makeup on or something. And when I saw this, I was like, "What a great idea!" You know. And so it was. And yeah, I was blown away by this one, and now I'm looking at it going, "Yeah, I should have got one of these." So yeah, put me on the list when you
if you do.
Yes.
It.
So fun fact that sculpt wasn't supposed to be quarter scale; it was supposed to be like 1/6 scale. And I had a movie light that I completely modeled, a 1930s movie light. It's cool as shit. I still have it, and I didn't like the light that was in that movie still because it was just like a dome light. It's kind of boring to look at. So I did like really cool thing, and it was going to be a bigger project than what it turned out to be. But I think at kind of towards the end, I was like, you know what, I got to just simplify this. I'm just cutting the light out, you know, because I didn't want to make the base any bigger to incorporate the light and the cables and stuff like that. But it was actually going to be a kind of a bigger thing than what it turned out to be. So
I like.
But I still have that light. Now I got to figure out what to do with it.
Yeah.
And you still see those lights like even well into the 70s and 80s on.
You call that an add-on. That's all. That's an add-on piece. You want the light? Sell it as an add-on.
No, I'm serious. I think that the light, the design itself is cool enough that I might just print it and put it on my desk and light it. It's just a cool looking light. How they use
if it really lights up, people would eat those up. I think. Like just a quarter scale movie set light.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I thought about releasing it.
Yeah. You should.
Maybe I'll pop it out there. See what it does.
Let's talk about Bruce.
Yeah, well, I want to go before we go to Bruce. I want to say it's about this time where I started to get promised a King Kong. Yet Bruce seemed to get in there beforehand. You want to explain yourself, Dave?
Yeah. So, dude, I think you'll be happy with the next couple of projects that I do. I'll just say that. But yeah, Kong is on my radar. I mean, Kong's like a big one for me, like it is for you. That one's a really important one for me. So I got to get it right. and I'm waiting to kind of just up my skills a little bit better, get a little more comfortable with the tools at least.
Mhm.
And like my Kong project, the one that I was talking to you about is, I think Tony Cipriano kind of did something like it not that long ago. So I was like, all right, I got to give it some time anyway. But it was, Kong, top of the Empire State Building, and the biplane, accurately rendered, all of that. Like it's got to be a big. So that is coming though. That is going to come at some point in time. I think it's going to come in stages. Yeah, that particular kit that we just talked about will probably come in little bits and drabs.
Bruce, was this one of those morning showers, like in your head it popped in, like I'm gonna build a Bruce, or was it something you had dreamed about for years doing?
Yeah, I'm having a hard time recollecting exactly when that moment was. I'm a huge Jaws fan though. I always have been, and I think as I've gotten older, I've become a bigger fan of the film. Every time I see it, I kind of just have more of an appreciation for it. So at some point, I think it was just like maybe I was just every once in a while I just do searches for reference materials on projects that I'm thinking about doing and stuff like that, and probably came across that one main Bruce image, and I was like, yeah, nobody has done this yet, and I would love to do that. And so that's just how it happened. I was like, no thought about like how hard this is going to be or how I'm going to pull this off. It's just, okay, we're just going to do this, and committed to it right away. And so really what made that project more difficult than anything else was that was my first ZBrush sculpt. First time I ever opened up ZBrush and did anything with it. And I decided to do freaking this mechanical shark with all the guts, all the mechanics, and there were things I couldn't see that I had to kind of just engineer myself and figure, okay, how would this work? How would they make this? And yeah, so that was the biggest thing, was like all of a sudden I'm making this transition into digital sculpting on the fly, in production, so to speak.
Let's pick the most difficult subject I can while I'm at it.
I made an
like,
apple in
wrong with
ZBrush,
me?
and I was like, I thought it was the coolest thing I ever did.
Yeah, so there was, the hard surface modeling and everything else that I did inside there. I might have done some things inside of Blender, I can't remember, and then kind of ported them over to ZBrush. But yeah, so yeah, that was pretty challenging because I just didn't know what the frick I was doing, really. And the fact that I was able to produce something that didn't totally suck, it was, I think, like nothing short of a miracle.
Not only does it not suck, but it's one of the coolest things that's ever been.
Well, and then it ends up on what's Mythbusters
on Tested. Yeah, how did that? Did they talk to you at all, or did it just show up there?
So yeah, so Norm reached out to us. He had saw it the prior year's Wonderfest.
Yeah, he's been coming to Wonderfest the last couple of years.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, that was the coolest thing. And so he's like, he was really interested in having it on the show or whatever. And so almost a year went by, and we reached out to him again. We're like, hey, Norm, the 50th anniversary is coming up. And he's like, oh, hey, that's right. So they decided to finally put it on the show and air it. And oh my God, the next day it was like, this is no lie. I had like 80 orders in one day. And
oh my gosh.
Kits.
And this is, again, what people don't understand about 3D printing is,
yes,
you don't make one in a day, okay?
Yes.
Especially unless you have, I don't know how many printers you have, but like unless you have a zillion printers,
7 or 8, yeah,
so and that's but still that's a lot,
Yeah, I think it is, and I'm kind of reluctant. I'm like, I'm not buying any more, but I actually need more.
Yeah,
I kind of need more, and so anyway, so yeah, that was huge. We had like 22,000 hits on the website that day, that in 2 days, and then we had all those orders, and so it was like Bruce was already doing really well on its own for about a year, and then all of a sudden, but it was just like it took off, and then it took me a while to recoup from that, and then everybody's like, "Where's my painted Bruce? Where's my painted Bruce? Where's my kit? Where's my kit?" Everybody asking, "Where's my kit?" I'm like, just a mere mortal.
Yeah,
I can only do so much, everybody.
And again, I want to put this out there. It's just the two of you. Like if people happen, like one of those people from the Tested show happen to watch this, it's just the two of you. Be patient. You will get your stuff. It will be there. For people to know though, do you know the total print time? for all, like if you from start to end, what's the total print time there?
No, I've never added it up.
It's a lot.
And it depends on. Yeah, it's quite a bit. Mainly because of the shark pieces are vertical and the base is pretty big. It's always the bases, like the Kong bases.
Yeah.
That's really one of the things that adds print overall print.
Well,
So
I got
it's
the
really-
2-piece. I got the 2-piece prototype. I'm just teasing you. She told me you wanted to send me another base, and I'm like, "There's nothing wrong with this base."
Well, yeah, the bases didn't, and that version that you had, I was like, nah, that seems just a little. There's just too much of a gap there, and so I did go in and I redid the part, and so now they fit together much. So, and that's the way they should have been from the beginning. But I was like, all right, so I really should send you another one because it's like
No,
a couple of a millimeter. It's a difference of a millimeter or two, maybe. But yeah, my God. So anyway,
well, and so the thing is with the Smithbusters thing, you were getting hit, especially for build-ups, probably because it wasn't just model kit builders that saw this. Model guys.
No.
These were just guys that wanted this thing on their shelf, and they were like, "No, I don't want to build and paint it." So,
yeah, no, you're absolutely right, and so yeah, I did get quite a few of those as well, and I know, like, so right now we're not okay at the moment, like, not to go back to Kong, but we're not offering him paint. You know, we'll come back. Stay on.
yeah, we're gonna get to him.
No,
yeah, I'm sorry, I don't mean to jump.
We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about that paint up behind you and who did it. So, but we're gonna come to that. So,
but yeah, that's something that you know, a lot of people will come to the site and they'll see, like, first off, the price will be too high on the painted, but they're like, well, I can't really put together the model, so you know, I think there's a lot of people that want it, but they're not quite sure. Like,
I don't know how long does it take you to paint one of those. I don't know, but people don't understand when it comes to painting, and I don't know what you charge, and you don't have to tell us. But the thing is, generally, it's hard to get. If you told someone $10 an hour for your time, okay, and you put in 100 hours, they'd be like, "What do you mean? You know, what do you mean $1,000 for a paint job?" And it's like, dude, would you work for 10 hours? You know, and again, I don't know what it takes you to paint. I'm just throwing crap out there, but it's, you know, it's not.
You can't charge what it's worth.
No,
you're just not going to sell any, you know. And the last thing I want to do is think about what my hourly rate is.
Well, yeah, because if you did, like I just said, you'd be sitting there going, "What am I doing?" Okay.
Well, I mean, we've had that conversation on the show before. If artists actually charged, and I think artists should charge, like, figure out what do you think your hourly wage should be? And it's when people actually hear that number, that's when people scoff and go, "No, I'm not going to pay that." But if we were an electrician, people wouldn't scoff it. It's like, it's just as valuable. It takes just as much time. And it's not like when you look at your painted ones that you put out and sell to people, they don't look like pre-paints from Sideshow. They look like someone actually sat there and painted each one. It is not a factory paint job at all.
Right.
And to see that, and for people to even get like any sort of like, "Oh, this is too much," like, you're crazy. Because you're getting a beautifully painted piece.
And what a pain in the ass to ship once it is built. Okay. I mean, it's, you know.
Yeah. And I mean, so far we've been very fortunate, and God, I hate to even say this, but we haven't had any break yet, which is another miracle.
Oh,
because
wow.
that thing comes pre-assembled, right? I mean, I have that thing mounted to that wheel and to the water base and all that stuff, and it's packaged very carefully. You know, we use you know, like 2-ply boxes and things like that, so everything gets, there's so much packing material to get that where it has to go. I mean, I've shipped one to Australia and it made it there fine, and a couple overseas. So far, knock on wood,
it's got to cost a lot to ship to Australia. I know it used to in the old days.
Shipping is just brutal these days. But yeah, I charge people what it cost me, and so I don't make any money. I generally don't lose any money. The only time is a problem is like when you're overseas and like, oh, hey, this part came broken or something. You got to send a replacement part for free. It's like, okay, now it costs me $25.
Yeah. Yep.
Just to send out this one little part that may or may not have been able to be glued back together. But,
yeah. We may have to edit this, but I don't know. So with you've got some pretty what's the right word? Well-known subject matter. Have you had any pushback from a license holder anywhere? Nothing? Like, and I probably won't put this on the show, but
Yeah, I don't know how I haven't. I think it's just I'm so
so
small. Like
yeah,
I expected, like with going on tested,
yeah,
that I might get some letter, cease
yeah.
and desist letter of some kind. But
Mhm.
I didn't. I'm like, what the hell? I'm really shocked
Maybe
because I
because
know
it's
there.
so
It seems to
cool.
come in waves, right? It comes in waves where all of a sudden you'll hear like people saying, "Oh, we got this letter. We got this letter," and then all of a sudden it seems like settle down. I don't know. When you think about how many 3D printed models are available all over all these sites
Yeah,
that are
Yeah.
licensed material, they would not be able to chase all these people down and take them to court. So I think maybe they're throwing their hands up in the air and saying,
that could
we,
be.
we can't we can't spend the money on lawyers chasing all of these people down.
And no one's making $1 million. Let's be honest. No one's making $1
Yeah.
million.
And I'm gonna be like, you can't get blood from a stone. You can sue me, take me to court, and you know what? You're not gonna get much.
And then,
Sorry, buddy.
kind of on the same lines, has anyone like Sideshow or another company? Because this looks like it's one of those pieces that I could see a bigger company going, "Hey, man, can you do that for us? And we'll mass produce." Has anyone reached out to you like that for anything?
No, I had the product manager from Sideshow has bought a couple of my pieces, and so they're aware of me.
Okay.
And he was asking me if I would make my lab kit in 1/4 scale, which is just massive. And he kept begging me for that, but I don't think it was. I don't think that was under the Sideshow
It was more for him.
umbrella. It was more of a personal thing
Yeah.
for him, and he was trying to work it out. And I'm like, dude, I'm not really interested.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to buy that in 1/4 scale. It's too big. It's too big as it is almost, right?
It's big.
It's huge. It's a
I'll
big
bet there's
kit.
people that would buy it. Actually, probably.
Yeah,
Was
I
it-
mean, maybe,
Some people like the quarter
Honestly,
scale
So
stuff.
there is a lot of people as they get older. Randy, he said, I can't see as well anymore, so I
Yeah.
only will paint
Mhm.
quarter scale stuff because there's people
yeah,
out there that
I
would
love
love it.
1/4 scale. I mean, I would sculpt in 1/4 scale all day long if I could. I would like to do a series of Universal Monsters 1/4 scale because I like that. I like pieces with presence, and I like museum quality type pieces.
Yeah,
Everything seems to be shrinking, and it's just it's nice when you take a photograph of it, right? Because you can zoom in and get really close and see all the details, but it doesn't really have presence in a room. And I would just kind of like to have in my studio like a series of like
Again, the nice thing about
1/4 scale,
digital is, you
Yeah,
you have that option. It's
you do, but it's not for me anyway. It hasn't been to the point where it's like, oh yeah, it's just a matter of scaling it. So just scale it 50% and start printing it. Like
and
there's
it's not like it's
always
5 pieces. You're talking that whole thing.
yeah. So
Yeah.
with the lab kit, I've had more requests to shrink it down, and I actually might do it like a Nika scale because a lot of guys have those figures.
Oh, yeah.
And, they want that in their background and stuff like that. So that's something I might consider. But it's gonna because I've already taken that top piece of equipment with the coils, and I've printed that fairly small, maybe 40%, 30% smaller, and that's printed just fine. So I may consider doing something
Okay.
like that. But larger, nah, I don't think it'd be worth the time.
Tuscan Raider, which is beautiful.
Thank you, man.
Why did you
Thanks so much.
choose a Tuscan Raider? Like, because it's one of those characters that people know, like it's
Well,
never anyone's favorite.
First off, I want to know, this is all 3D, right? Tuscan Raider was all 3D ZBrush.
Tuscan Raider
Yeah.
was that was my second ZBrush sculpt. Yeah, that was my second
one. That's my second one. You can't wait to see the fourth. But
I don't
yeah.
say that to brag or anything.
No, I know, but
That's
we just
what it
I
is,
know, but it's
We're
like,
okay.
no,
Yeah.
no. This is like someone shows you a paint job and you go, fuck you, because you can never paint that well. Okay. That's kind of what it is when you say it's my second one.
So don't remember why exactly. I mean, my thinking was just that I hadn't done a Star Wars kit in a while, and I was, sometimes when you don't do subject matters that these the people want, they lose interest in your company, they won't come back, they forget about you, right? And so I had people ask me when I was going to do another Star Wars kit. So I just wanted to kind of I wanted to do something simple. Like just something, just a bust. I just wanted to try to do something just that wasn't like overly complicated. And I think I still turned the thing into an 18-piece kit. Like
So, and I'm going to say, obviously, we got to see it firsthand. Um,
yes, and thank you so much for taking those for us, Scott.
oh, no problem. I was just glad I didn't have to take them home.
Me too.
Well, that, and it was nice too that the Worthlings were able to help with the people that wanted to use charges and stuff like that. But
yes.
It's
awesome.
seeing this thing up close built is amazing. Okay, and it's amazing just to look at the photos. Now,
Keep talking.
I'm a Star Wars fan.
Mm-hmm.
Where's he going? He's probably gonna go pee.
Maybe
I'm a
so.
Star Wars fan. We'll keep recording. We don't need him. But I'm not a what I'd call a diehard Star Wars fan because it's kind of been done to death for me,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But and this is like I want to say a secondary character almost,
if not tertiary.
When you look at this, it's like, oh my god, it's perfect, and the textures and the bandages and to be all Z-brushed, it is just amazing. And
For people, this is how big it is, buddy. Like it is a very substantial piece of, and it's gorgeous.
And you break it up so it's easy to paint.
It just look,
yeah,
done.
So as I'm sculpting these things, since I do paint, I'm always thinking about painting these things as I'm sculpting them, how I'm gonna break them apart. But
which a lot of people don't do. I hate to say it, but a lot of people don't do it, and it's like,
especially a lot of sculptors these days just sculpt and then have no idea how it's going to be printed. Number one, and number two, how it's going to be painted.
Yeah, my wife gets a lot of stuff, not a lot of stuff, but a few things like from those download sites and all that, and then she has problems printing them, and I'm looking at it like there's no thought into this whatsoever. How people are going to print it? They're just sculpting it and throwing it out there, and a couple of dollars you get this cool kit, but it's like it is.
Well, and like I do cartoon kits, as you know, and even my favorite guy sometimes he'll do whiskers on a cartoon kit. And 3 whiskers will be one piece. And so I have to go in there and slice them all individually, or he'll do the 6 whiskers. So you have the whiskers like this, and it'll be one piece. There's no way to orient that they're all going to print. So I'll have to cut it down the middle so I can orient them all like this, and they'll print up. And it's like, like you said, they're not printing them, so they don't know.
Yeah.
It's
on your website.
The engineering part is. I was just going to say, like, the engineering part is a lot of work. Not only do you have sculpt, but then breaking it all down and then, creating all of the keys and all that stuff. That's like a whole nother ball of wax. I mean, the sculpt almost becomes easy almost compared to like when you have to make this thing work as a model. Sculpting is one thing. Creating a model kit out of it is like a whole nother level. Like.
On your website, you have some examples of people that had painted the Tusken Raider. Modeler Dave and Robin Vander Andy? Stan?
Yeah.
These are like when you look at the sculpture by itself, it's hard to pick up, but when you start seeing like the texture that's in there and the leather after it's painted, it looks like real leather. Like it is dead on. Like you don't see it in the sculpture until there's paint on it.
And the stitching,
and the stitching alone, like just the stitching. Yeah, it's not. And
that's one of the reasons I love those, the paintwork that they did on that and the photos they took, because I'm like, I haven't painted the thing yet, so I haven't been able to kind of like show that. But when you're trying to photograph just a gray model like that, it's hard as hell to try and get those details to show up. And but once you see it painted, it really does come to life. And
dude,
I was so happy to see that because I'm like, look how nice that looks. I'm happy with that. I can't wait to paint one.
So is it true you didn't think we'd sell any of them for you when you sent them to us? You were like, they're not going to sell, and it's
honestly, the Tusken Raider has not been a big seller for us. I will confess. It's shocking almost, like because it's Star Wars first off, and because we did so well with the Tauntaun and the Dewback. So, you know, like the Tuscan
That's
Raider
weird.
was only like about 40. And for us, that's, you know,
That's a,
relatively speaking, that's fairly
what is the
disappointing
most
for
run?
us.
40 seems like, what are people selling these days? I don't know. Things have kind of,
40 is a good run
40 is a
for a
good run
traditional resin
for a
kit.
regular
I will
resin
say
kit.
that if
Yeah.
you sell 40, you're doing okay. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not crazy, but it's
For us,
okay.
that's the lowest selling thing we've done.
Huh.
And it just sucks because I spent a lot of time on it trying to make it look right and getting those
Well,
details in there. So then you start to question, okay, is it Star Wars fatigue? Is it the scale? Because most people collect quarter scale busts, not half scale. Or is it something with the sculpt that they don't? So
Mhm.
okay, I will confess. I think I know the answer, and I think you said it. I think it's a little Star Wars fatigue because the sculpt is amazing. The size I think is perfect. I just there's a lot of people I think that have fallen off of Star Wars in the last
yeah.
couple of years
Oh, I totally
because of what's
understand.
happened.
Trust
But
me.
um yeah, I think that might have
I'm
something more to do with it than anything else on your end of
I
They
kind of
76 Kong Star Wars.
they kind of
Um,
did. Kind of did. All
yeah.
right, it's time. It's time, Scott,
for the creme de la creme.
for the Kong. So you guys can just give each other massages all day, right?
So, yeah, by the way, Dave, I still haven't got my check for the review. Um,
Yeah, I tell you.
but
That's exactly what that looked like too, like a total paid
so,
endorsement.
I received number one, or at least you said I got number one. I'll take your word for it.
I don't know what else you want. Like, how do I prove that?
Prove it, damn it.
He's such a bitch.
For the
He's
record,
such a
Scott,
bitch.
I don't have one. I don't have one for
So-
myself yet. So
So there you go. So I got this in the mail and opened it up and started pulling the parts out. And I know you guys are working on this. For anyone that gets this, the fingers and the hands are really fragile. And so I had one thumb broken off, and Laura says, "We'll send you another one." And I'm like, I can glue a thumb on. Okay, it's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. And yeah. I mean, so I know you guys are probably packing different and stuff now because it was I think. So I got this thing, and I remember Laura saying, "Well, Dave put it together without any glue." And I said, "Well, I'm going to start screwing with this thing." And I set it on my desk here and started playing with it. And next thing you know, I had the whole thing together standing there on its own. And it's like, wow, just wow. And I'll be honest, I have the Sideshow armature. And it's awesome, but it can't hold a pose because they use such cheap material on it, stuff like that. This, first of all, the base blows Sideshows away. Okay, if Sideshow would have done this base, it would have been awesome. If I was going to display my Sideshow piece, I'd probably call you and say, "Can you make me a base for that?" Because through the
I
base,
did have a request for one already.
Did you? Okay, yeah. So there you go.
Yeah.
So this is awesome. I can't say enough about it. It's the instructions, because some of the pieces look the same. Okay, but if you look at the pictures close, every piece is different. Okay.
There's no symmetry to this kit whatsoever.
Yes.
Or
So
to
everything
the
has a
armature.
spot. All right. Paul, Gil, are you listening? Everything has a spot and a way to go. So,
My wife put this thing together.
I put
Oh
this.
no, that wasn't an insult to Paul Gill. I'm just saying.
Or to your wife.
That wasn't a knock against Paul.
That's all right.
I
gave Paul a lot of crap over this already. So, and I think the term was house ape. I kept calling him a house ape when he, but
when you're not used to building kits like, and this is a fiddle, it's a delicate kit.
So, well, and that's what you got to realize.
Just used a word that I like to use, fiddly. That is a miniature Games Workshop term that is always like the little breakable pieces, fiddly. Like that.
Oh, and it is, and that's why I have a few pieces I have to go back and I want to sand down a little bit just so they go in easier. Okay. so that when I go to glue this thing together, it's a nice boom, done, boom, done, boom, done.
Yeah.
The engineering on this thing was amazing to me. It is just simply amazing. It's there's no you can't build it wrong if you just take your time, because there's no two joints that are the same. There's no two anything that are the same. You can't build it wrong if you take your time and read the directions. And when it's put together, it's beautiful. It is beautiful. And then I'm going to gush just a little more. We get this painter that you have, this staff painter you have, and she starts painting hers, and it's like, now I really want to throw my brushes in the garbage because it looks phenomenal. She did a phenomenal job. Now, I know she did tell me, yeah, Dave would come in and make suggestions and stuff like that. But when she first started doing it, I'm like, oh my God, Laura, that's fantastic. All right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm still going to say it's, oh my God, it's fantastic. I know I sent her some reference photos that I had. And,
Good.
But this thing.
Hold on. I got to stop because I want to just hold up the paint job. We got to talk about this paint job a little bit, and then we'll get back into the others. So she on the website, or no, on the Facebook page. So everybody head over to the StannArts Facebook page as well. There's just like an in progress of building it and painting parts of it, and you show the Vallejo. Are those the new Vallejo metallic paints? Is that the new? How do you like those? Have you used them? Like, because I've been thinking about picking up that set. Are they the best metallic paints ever? Are they just okay? Is it worth replacing what you might have?
So I have the old set. I have only used the new set just a very little bit on one little part of Bruce because I wanted to try them out. So I haven't used it extensively. But I will say, like, the aluminum has a certain brightness to it, and it seems to have like a kind of like a silkiness on that as to how it goes on.
Okay.
And so they seem pretty impressive enough where I will probably buy a set of those.
Okay.
As well. That's her own personal set. Now she's out there buying all these paints, and she's building. I think she has more paints than I do now. I mean, it's ridiculous.
And does she tell you, don't come pirating my paints, pal? Go get your own.
And
okay.
Well, it's only fair because I've lent her a lot of paints of my own. I'm like, all right, hold on. I got something for you. I'll go downstairs. Boom, 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 boom. I'll go down and get the.
Do you keep a log? Do you keep a log of what she takes from you so you can go back and get?
No, I'm not that bad. I'm not that bad. Besides, I have it all up here. I know what's going on. So,
let me explain something to you, pal. Nothing is yours. Okay, it's all ours.
I mean, for people who don't know, Vallejo just redid their entire metallic line. And you can buy the whole set, or you can buy like individual sets of, I think, 3 or 4 colors.
I think it's 6. I think it's 6 colors.
And it has like a highlight, a middle, a shade, and a wash that's also glossy, so that you can do like certain effects. And like, it turned out so dang good using those colors on here that I really want to go and replace my metallics and start using.
I can't honestly tell you if it's worth replacing what you have, but
which is even like that burnt brown metal that she has like on the chest piece. Like that's a color that's
colors.
She just mixed
colors, bro. Yeah, she's pretty good
great.
at matching
Another
colors
first model. That was my first one.
I mean, I would just offer advice and talk about certain things but she's really good at matching colors, and she loves mixing colors, and she's did a fantastic job.
It's great.
She's been painting several things now and several little kits, and like she freaking painted these birdhouses and stuff with like the brickwork look fantastic. I mean, the brick color was spot on. Like it wasn't too red, wasn't this? It was worn brick, and it was really nice. And so I would give her certain brushes, talk about dry brushing and things like that. But man, she was kicking ass from the beginning.
She sent me some pictures for the gallery this episode, like this and another like armored looking guy, and that thing is beautiful.
I know. I had it on my computer for a little while. I thought, I think I like him there, and I think I might just keep him.
So well done painting.
Missing.
You said something important, I think, when we were talking about the sculpture. When you look at the armature, you said nothing match, like everything is different shapes, and so nothing's symmetrical.
Right.
Like, is that true? Like the arms are all different, everything is.
Well, so the core arm cylinders are basically the same, but the textures that I've sculpted on there are obviously different because I tried to match the textures from the reference photos I had on both arms. So that makes them different. The holes and the bolt alignments are different. They face opposite of each other. But like the feet aren't just like simple rounded. They're different. They're a little awkward, a little off. Everything is like different. So it wasn't like you can just model one piece and then duplicate it over to the left side. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So there was just so many even the main chest piece, which I kind of call the scapulas, like there's like little things on both sides that make it different, and it kind of drives you crazy because you think it's one thing, and then you're working on another part of the model, looking at a different reference photo, and then all of a sudden you're like, hey, wait a minute, that looks a little different from the left side or the right side, and so yeah, so there's a lot of pieces that just are not the same.
I have a technical question. Just looking at the head of Kong, maybe both of you know this. There's that screw that's like right there above his jaw.
Mhm.
What was that for? Does anybody know? Was that the screw in the
So
dental plate? Was it separate or was it
no, the dental plate was all
all
one
sculpted in
piece,
there?
I
Okay.
believe. They were sculpted into the jaws, and the metal from the armature of the teeth show through. They've just painted it.
Okay.
But I don't know if those bolts were basically to hold to give the foam and the adhesive something to
Something
kind
to
of
stick
hold on
onto?
to.
Okay.
I mean, the holes were like around his eyes and things like that were obviously for the wires so they could animate his eyebrows and his eyelids and things like that. But I think those two cheek bolts are mainly just maybe for that reason because they don't really seem to serve any other function that I can think of.
Yeah, that's why I saw that.
I'm not an expert on, I'm not, like Scott said to me in his email, I'm not an expert, in his review that he's not an expert, which I appreciated, Scott, because I get so many emails from experts on things.
From Kong armature nerds.
and usually they're
Actually.
just dead wrong.
Yeah.
They're
So,
dead wrong.
so I have a theory maybe on the screws on his snout.
Someone's punching their screen right now. How do you not know what that screw is for?
And
Yeah, right.
I'm wondering if those weren't to wrap wires around so that when they animated it, it wasn't just in the holes. Maybe the wires were anchored there, like where they would wrap them
Gotcha.
around so that when they moved them, maybe. I don't know.
That makes sense because the one on the back
Maybe
of the
like a
head
cheek.
too. Yeah.
Maybe like a like a
The
snarl
cheek,
or
yes.
something like
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
Maybe
So,
that's an anchor point, like an insertion point.
I just a guess on my part. I wasn't there, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, no, you know what?
Guess.
We're gaming this out. So the screw on the back of his head, there could have been a wire that went around that to there and then down to like a lip that you would pull from the.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's. I don't. Oh yeah.
As we're walking through, we're doing armature display.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's basically holding the rod that goes up into the back
Oh,
of
okay.
the head. That's like a set screw. So then.
Oh, it's a set.
You would go through his foam and tighten that up whenever you needed to, and that would hold it.
Okay.
Hold it in place.
Cool.
So that I can understand.
Wow.
But those, I think that's probably a pretty good.
How long in researching did it take? Like, was it easy? Like, I don't want you to go into your details, but was it
no? I think the
difficult?
research was.
Is there enough there?
It's amazing how much reference material I acquired over time. But it's like even when I'm halfway through a process, I'm still like finding stuff. And usually when I'm all finished and I think I'm finished, then I find like this most amazing photo, something that I've never seen before, and it like, oh man, now I got to go back in and.
I know I sent you some early
like
on that I had some measurements on it, and
yeah, that was actually very helpful. They weren't like all inclusive measurements, but they were enough to at least give me a guide. Like, okay, if this plate is this, then okay, I can fill in some of the blanks.
I want to say, and I'll go back and hold on, let me reach up and grab this. So this was my kit was scanned and we knocked it down to 12 inches and cleaned up a little bit. But this was 150% from mine, because when I scanned it, I had him knock it down to 12 inches, knowing that I could blow it up. So this is the size of the armature, basically. And I held your skull up next to this. It was like dead nuts. So
Right. Awesome. That's awesome to hear.
You know,
I honestly, Scott, I was really hoping in the last when you talked about your con kit, I was really anxious to see like the sideshow next to mine because I was really curious, like how is it close? Am I like how close did I get? Because I don't have, I have some art, I have some those measurements, but that's about all I had to go on. So I was really curious to see what it would look like up against the sideshow.
when I get it built, I will pull my sideshow one out and I will put it up there. I hate to tighten my sideshow one too much because they
What's it
made
made
out
out
of
of?
such crap metal.
Is it like really crappy, like metal or something?
Yeah. So,
Supposed to be really
well, in order to
soft.
hold, you got to take those side pieces and they almost bend in because the metal is such shit that they bend in and it doesn't look right. And you have a photo of his hips, okay, in here somewhere. In the engineering photos, okay, of his hips. And David actually sculpted that in on the hips where the pieces slightly collapsed from tightening. Okay. Yeah. Well, the sideshow, you would have to exaggerate that a little more to get it to hold a pose, and it still won't hold a pose. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. And for $500, I thought it was a deal. Okay. And I still do. Mm-hmm. I think they sell for like 1,300 now, but
yeah, that's what I've seen.
I just wish it was a little better quality. That being said, too, David, not to blow you too much here, but I've often wondered if I posed my sideshow, what pose I would want to put him in. The pose you picked is brilliant. I'm sorry. The pose you picked is brilliant. I love it. So, and I know you had to put the arm down to support the weight.
I didn't have to, but I thought I had better, and I'm really glad I did.
Yeah. And yeah, it's
And let's make that as a public service announcement. If someone does get this kit, it is not a posable kit. It is a static pose.
Oh, I try to put that all over the website.
Okay,
as well.
just in case for people who are watching this.
People will not read it.
Yes. So visual for people who are like better than visual learners than me.
You can pose the jaw.
You can pose the jaw.
Yeah, if you
better be careful because I know somebody that broke theirs. I don't want to say his Paul Gill name, but
so a quick story. Like Laura had an issue with having the jaw movable too, and so she and Paul were going at it, and like, yeah, there's something wrong with this kit. My own wife is like throwing me under the bus, not throwing me under the bus, but she's like, yeah, I'm with you, Paul. So I had to come. I was like, well, wait a minute. So I showed her. I'm like, look, I said, look.
Did you show her the directions?
Look, here, I've done this like multiple times. It works, open, close, open. And I said, it's just a matter of putting the glue right in the center of this hole right here. And that's it. And that's all you have to do. And as a matter of fact, you could probably leave the glue out of that hole and just glue the top part here. And and you'd probably be fine because this would probably be secure enough to hold this in place. But if you're sloppy with the glue and it blobs out, you're not going to be able to move the jaw. But it's not an engineering flaw, So, but my own wife was ready to like, it's.
Yeah, well, let's go back to that because I love busting Paul's chops, and he's gonna call me after this, you motherfucker. But Laura's built what, one kid, and Paul's built how many kids? Okay.
Laura's built two now. She just finished
two.
The second one.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh man,
kicking butt. She loves the kit. She just says, I just love this kit so much, and she really had it. When I came, like at one point she started, and then all of a sudden, like on the first one, I came upstairs, and she was working in the kitchen. The freaking thing was built already, and it was just so weird for me to like see, like, damn, you put this thing together already? Like it was all completely standing there and included, and it was just like, wow, I just didn't expect it.
What's the future for StannArts? Where are you headed? I know you probably don't want to give anything away. Any hints?
And we'll probably close up
Clues?
shop in about a month or two.
And go back to sterilizing tools and
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, every 5 years, I'm just going to change it up a little bit. I don't know. Like, I joke about that, but like, there's times where I'm like, this could end anytime. Like, I could, it's it's just
we
it's
talk
scary
about doing
sometimes.
that, and we're not joking. We talk about
Yeah, I don't know if I'm joking either. Sometimes
Yeah.
it gets a little scary.
Yeah.
But I think
is
for
it the
right
resin
now,
printing that makes it worse? I mean, or if you were molding and casting, would it be easier to just sculpt and be done and go to the next project? Would it be easier to do that, or would you rather have full control of your stuff? I mean,
yeah. So if I don't, so the way my mind works, I'd rather do the creative stuff and leave all the production stuff. If I didn't have to do that, I'd be totally fine with it. However, I'm also not going to outsource that to somebody else. I like to have control of my work. I like to make sure the quality is there where I want it. So yeah, so it's just a necessary part of the process. I'm just saying, like, in terms of sales kind of, sometimes they porpoise a little bit. And it makes you a little nervous because you're like, if a week goes by and I don't sell anything, I start to get a little fidgety, like, because that's just the way I am.
Yeah.
So,
well, then Laura's
like I
going to have
said,
to get a second job. Okay.
yeah,
Well,
but
let's sell some
as
stuff.
far as
What's the website? Let's put that out there.
all right, so it's StannArts.com.
Okay. That will be down below. Facebook page as well. All links will be down below. And then I cut you off. What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
Oh well, first of all, I mean, I don't mean to paint a gloomy picture. I mean, I think we're doing really well. I mean, especially relative to a lot of producers. And I think we've been incredibly fortunate, and so things are going well. I just would like to have a little more of a push sometimes. That's all.
Oh, for sure.
That's all. So I don't mean to be gloomy.
And it's a lot of hard work. Like,
It is,
you're
and
doing a
sometimes
lot.
it's just like, so like when I get feedback from customers and stuff, and I get some really amazing emails from people and stuff, that helps like so much. It's not like I need a pat on the back all the time. I'm not that kind of person, but sometimes just getting feedback saying, hey, this really made me happy, and you're doing a good job, keep it up, that sort of thing. That just kind of really makes it all
Yeah,
worthwhile.
for sure.
That kind of is sometimes even better than getting the money.
And I'm going to go on record as I
making the
was not paid
sales.
for the review. Okay, I was not paid for the review. And I'm also going to go on record as saying, these nice people offered to send me this kit for free for what we've offered to do and stuff, and I wouldn't let them. Okay, I made them because my review is going to be honest. My review is not going to be based on, gee, I can't do this. They sent it to me for free.
Plus, you're rich. So,
Plus, well, I'm not rich. I'm better off than you are, but whatever. Because you waste money on weird shit. But so I, and I've said this. I've done it with the Worthlings. It's hard for me, and I'm just that kind of person. It's hard for me to accept gifts. Okay,
Right.
so I hope you guys didn't take that as any personal affrontage or anything. It's just
The same way.
it's
and I'm a lot like David. I don't compliment well, but you guys are doing awesome stuff, and keep it up.
I appreciate that. I'm really hoping
maybe I'll let you send me the next one for free. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but honestly, you guys, I did want to thank you guys for, like, when we first started out, a lot of people didn't know who we are. There's a lot of suspicion, I think, in this hobby. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
There is. Nope, you're right.
There's a lot of stories out there of people who've gotten ripped off and had bad experiences, sent money, to friends and family on PayPal and all that stuff, which we never do, by the way, because you can't get your money back. You do friends and family, you're not getting your monies back,
Yeah.
So there's no recourse. But anyway, so like there's kind of like a trust thing there, and I think early on with you guys just kind of kind of giving us an endorsement, showing our products, I think that really helped us out in the beginning.
Oh,
So
you're
we
welcome.
really do appreciate the both of
I
you.
appreciate everything you've done for us as well. It
Yeah,
is
no, and I know Laura said, when I put the King Kong up there, all of a sudden you guys started getting orders for the King Kongs, more than you were, and which is great. I know a few people that have them, and I love mine. It's still down there. I love it. I should have had you painted early on. But
have Laura paint it. Have Laura paint it.
you may have Laura paint it. Yeah,
Yeah.
send it back and Laura paint it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So I mean, she's actually painted 2 of these now, and she's the one behind us. She sold to a customer and $450, which I think
There you
is
That's a
very
steal.
reasonable price
A steal.
for a hand
is a
paint. I mean, because
steal. That is
there's
a
a
steal.
lot. There's a lot to paint to the kit. It's
Yeah.
not just brown and aluminum and you're done. Maybe do a wash. There's a lot of little nuances and textures and rust here and there and getting those colors right if you really want to do a bang up job on it. And so I think what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put it up on the website because I know a lot of people would prefer to have one painted and say, hey, this is Laura's paintwork and have at it, if you're interested.
and the nice thing about that, correct me if I'm wrong, if
'Cause I
she
can't
had
do it.
to, she could paint it
Mhm.
and still ship it in pieces.
We are doing that, yes.
Yeah, because it would be really hard
way.
to ship it like it is.
No way am I shipping that in one piece.
Yeah.
No, I would.
Oh
that
my
would be-
God, that would suck.
No way, no. No, we've been discussing it, and I'm kind of putting my input in there.
Yeah, I should make her paint mine. I'm going to make her paint mine. That's it. I'm going to make her paint mine.
Yeah, you
Well,
should. I mean,
we've been going for, this is about 2 hours. It has not felt like 2 hours.
no, it hasn't.
Is there anything else you want to plug? Anything else you want to get in there? Again, some of the best people we've met in the hobby through this show. And it's when we're on the edge of quitting, I always point to the Stanns and a couple other people of people we've met through this show that make everything worthwhile. And you two are amazing human beings and just keep up what you're doing, being honest, truthful, really good people. And it's refreshing. It really is when it comes down
Thank
to
you.
it. So
Thank you so much.
plug away anything else, but seriously, you're the best. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, no, I mean, StannArts.com. I mean, that's really the only place to go right now to get our stuff. We've gotten off other platforms because we got tired of paying the high fees and all the nonsense that they make you. They make you offer your stuff, ship it for free, or you're not going to be shown in results and stuff like that. I mean, who the hell can, and that's great. Anyway,
Yeah,
so
for sure.
StannArts.com
Awesome.
is the place to go for our kits, and we will try and, hopefully put out quality kits. And I'm in a Kong state of mind, and I think that a lot of the ideas rolling around in my head are going to be Kong related. So
I'm here for you, pal. Okay, anything I can do to help, I'm here for you.
I'm really excited about some of the ideas that I have, and I do have to figure out how I'm going to pull off some of them. If I can pull them off, I just think they're going to be super excited. And so that, like I said, so I think the next couple of kits will probably be Kong related.
All right, that's enough of
so
a
we'll see
teaser
how
that
it
we need.
goes.
And you know what? Oh,
And
I'm going to say this. We talked earlier about Universal Monsters still sell for whatever reason.
Mhm.
Okay. So does King Kong. Okay. But I will say, because I'm a snob, there's not a lot of great King Kong kits out there. There's good King Kong kits out there. There's not a lot of great King Kong kits out there.
That is very true.
Well, I will do my very best because that's a big one for me. Like I said, I got to get it right. The only other plug I'm going to say is that on the website I floated the idea of maybe doing some painting tutorials, like a subscription-based painting tutorials for people. And feedback so far has been kind of tepid. Like a lot of people just aren't filling out the form, things like that. But so that's one thing I'm thinking about in 2026. Maybe once I get some of my painted Bruces off my plate, I might start going down that route too.
Cool.
If I can. So that's about it for 2026.
There are a lot of people that pay for Patreon from painters, like mini painter guys that have Patreon set up. So there might be a crowd. There might be a
Yeah,
a group of
that's
people
my
that
thing.
would
Like,
want.
there's so many people doing there's so many
Yeah.
people doing stuff on YouTube. So
It's
it's
tough.
something I really have to be careful because I can't invest that much time into
Yeah.
something if nobody shows up. I just can't do.
Gotcha.
So we'll see what happens.
Awesome.
But
Thank
hey,
you.
guys.
Thank
I
you.
really
Thank you. Thank
appreciate
you.
this.
Thank you. And thank you
I had
for
a great
actually
time.
doing this. We were so excited when we
Yes.
finally got to agree to say yes.
Now, now, was it as bad as you thought it was going to be?
It was not as painful as I thought it was going to be. No, it was not bad.
We'll make
That's
it
'cause you
even less
guys are-
painful next time. So
Next time we're going to make Laura come on.
yes, yes.
I kept telling her she should come in my place because she is the face of StannArts. and I kept teasing her, but she would refuse. So next time,
yeah,
maybe
next
we'll
time.
bring her on when she's a painting star. You know, and she's
Yeah.
painting
There you
everybody's
go.
kits.
Maybe she should
Yeah.
do a Patreon. Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
there we go.
Yeah, I know, right? She should do the tutorials.
Awesome.
Never know.
All right.
That would help
We
me
will
out.
we will see you. Please come to Wonderfest one time. Even if you're not
that
getting
was
a
whole nother
table.
topic we should have talked about.
Well, we'll talk about it after when I stop recording. But
Okay.
we'll see you soon. Again, thank you both so much. Thank you for everything. You're the greatest.
My pleasure. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it.
All right, Scott. That was great. I'm so happy he joined us. It was a great interview, great stuff. Just everybody head over to StannArts.com and support them. Great people. Laura and David are amazing. Like, just amazing, true good souls. And I like supporting people that are, good people. And keep it up, guys. Keep making a great stuff. I'm looking forward to what some of this. I think Scott's really excited for what might be coming. What he hinted at. So we'll see. Let's do some emails, voicemails, and corrections. I didn't even look at voicemails this episode, so we'll have to hold those off to next time. I do got a couple other short, quick emails that'll kind of go in. We'll start first from Ken Kwalinski. Hi, Jason. Just watched the last live stream video. Good one. Wish I could have watched live. Do you know if Pegasus models will be coming out with any more cryptic creature kit? I got the Mothman this Christmas. Great kit. I'm hoping they do other creature kits as well. I will send photos of my build when I get it finished. You and Scott were talking about GK. Let's stop there real quick before I get distracted. We don't know. I think the what I had heard through the pipeline was that if it's sold well, they will do more. That kit I have seen all over the place. So I think it's doing pretty well for them. So I send them an email. Keep reminding them, hey, there's this group of people out here that like those kits. Make the next one in the series. Maybe Jeff Yeager's working on the next one. We don't know. You and Scott were talking about GK companies still in business on the video. Not sure if the ones that do planes, tanks, cars, and other models count. A lot of detailed things for kits, but there are many. It's just that there are not so many of the figure stuff anymore. Not sure if there ever was, but it got the garage kit business going. Otherwise, we wouldn't be watching your show. Here are a few of the non-figure resin makers out there still in business. AMS Resin, Bandit Resin, Best Resin, Live Resin, Yark Resin. These are just a few, but have nothing to do with the figure kits we love to build. I have never heard of a single one of them. Scott?
No, I haven't either.
Yeah, me either. So I'm going to kind of go check them out. I believe the resin stuff will still be around in some way for a long time, but it's slowly turning to 3D. Another thing you guys mentioned was, how do we find out about upcoming kits? Well, that's kind of hard nowadays. Mostly I find from your show. Producers, send us your stuff. We're the only place now when it turns like, come on.
And again, when we say send us your stuff, photos are fine.
Photos.
Don't send us kids.
Photos. The internet helps when you go on websites like Atlantis, but then that's plastic kits. As for GKs, there is not much info out there anymore. If I hear of anything coming out, I'll send you info. And just for shits and giggles, that is a great Chicago thing to say. Shits and giggles. Is that a nationwide thing? Let us know in the comments.
Maybe.
For shits and giggles. Would you love to see my mom says that all the time. Did your mom?
She
She
sure
also
does.
said,
She sure does. She shits and giggles a lot. Okay.
"You son of a bitch." I walked
It's
right
always
into
nice
that.
when she waits till I'm done. But anyway.
And my dad was like, "What's for dinner?" And my mom would always say, "Shit on a shingle." Did your family say
we
that?
say shit on a shingle. Joanne says shit on a stick. So. SOS.
Yeah, yep. We'd love to see a model of Dr. Cyclops someday. That's the movie about the mad scientist who shrinks people down to 6 inches out of his jungle hideout. This sounds like a Task 4 nostalgic resin. A Universal movie from the 1950s. Surprised nobody ever did a kit of him or some version of the movie. Oh, I was in the hospital before the holidays, still recovering from a few surgeries, which included gallbladder removal. Doing fine now. Great to hear. Everyone stay in good health. There's a lot of that going around. Some we can't talk about. So if you are in people, take care of yourselves. Health is important. Glad to hear you're doing, Kid Ken. Thank you for the email. All right. I got an email from Jeremiah Blakely. I'm going to read it, and this led into something else. So Jeremiah says, for the longest time, I've been aware and upset about the decline in the model building as a hobby. This is a major concern in the graybeard society as people are just falling out of model building for reasons we can discuss. I've been trying to address this problem with a class at my local Ramstein Army base to teach people how to paint and build models. We mostly build 70 millimeter scale, but have dabbled in larger things. The club has been going on for a year now. We paint resin prints mostly, but each one I'm trying to impart is a technique like dry brushing, layering, or glazing. It's been fairly successful and have made a few model enthusiasts here, and a few miniature enthusiasts, which are similar enough. If you would like to chat about this effort, how I set it up, how anyone else can help spread the model building, I'd be interested in talking to you on or off camera. Jeremiah Blakely. So I reached out to Jeremiah. I said I'd love to have him on a guest and talk about this topic and how we could grow the hobby. Even if it's a short 10-minute segment, that would work great. My call for suggestions is if you are doing something that grows the hobby, send it to me. I'd love to put it in that episode and do like a grow the hobby episode and just involve what people are doing. The reason I want to bring this up this past week, I have some kids left over from when I did a model club at my elementary school. I'm at the junior high now. And some kids were really into military airplanes for some reason. Totally out of blue. And I'm like, well, I got some models here. Would you like to start building them? So these two guys came in at lunch and started building these little testers airplanes. And they're like, Mr. Walker, we want to do more. Can you buy us some more? So I was like, sure. So the one kid wanted a USS Arizona and the other kid wanted a F-15E Strike Eagle something. And we went on Hobby Lobby because I know Hobby Lobby does the 40% off box kits like every other week. So I went in and bought the kits the other day. I brought them to school. We're going to start building them. And then another kid heard us talking about it. And he said, well, wait, I got boat models at home. Can I come in at lunch and do them too? I'm like, sure. Come on in. We'll do them. And then another kid, he's doing Warhammer, which is rare at my school. And he's like, well, I'm like, bring them. You can paint them. We'll figure it out. So
your school is real Warhammer.
It gets very Warhammer like. So that's what I'm doing. I don't know, even if you spark it with one person, it might go a long way. And I'd love to have that as an episode. So thanks for sending that in, Jeremiah. We'll get to you and we'll figure out when we're going to do that.
I don't want you to read the guy's email again, but what is dry blushing?
Oh. Dude, I have a speech impediment. We've gone over this for people who are new to the show. My speech impediment results from social anxiety. And when I have to
impediment, I can't fucking read.
No, it is an anxiety thing. My mouth doesn't work when I'm nervous. And for people who can't tell, I am extremely nervous anytime we record an episode. My brain is on fire on the inside. It might not seem like it, but I am nervous anytime I talk to people. I've learned to control it and hide it. But when I have to talk, it shows up.
You see my hot pad over there for my
Oh, you and your sciatica. Oh, my leg hurts. My leg hurts. You are a vile human being sometimes. Anyway, everybody, that's the show. It's a long one. So if you've made it this far,
go back to something
hold
else.
on. Yeah, make it longer. Why not?
Why not? Fuck Jesse. If he got this far, he can wait a few more minutes.
Oh, wait. Oh, there your camera went back it came back. It was out of.
You mentioned the one kid wanted a USS Arizona.
Yeah.
You ever build a battleship kit?
Helped someone build a pirate ship kit before.
Battleship kits are cool to build. I built an Arizona kit, probably the same kit.
Yeah, it's the Revell. It's the Revell one. Long box.
I didn't paint it or anything. They usually come in gray plastic.
Yeah.
And if you build them, they look cool.
Yeah. And the kid, he plays
unpainted.
World of Warships, the video game, where you're controlling like famous historical battleships and stuff. So I was like, sure, if it cost me $50, which is what it did, to maybe like spark that in someone. I don't have kids of my own, which I had hoped for at some point, which never happened. So I could do this with them. And if this is the only way I can kind of spread model building as a hobby, I'll do it. Like, it's worth the $50. So we'll see. We'll see. So that is the show, everyone. It was a long one. Thank you to the
it was light
stands.
when we started. No,
I know. And now it's a nightmare outside, probably with snow and ice.
Snow out there. So
I hope everyone made it through this storm. This will, I think this storm is going to be talked about for a very long time. And I pray everyone sees this recording on Friday when it comes out. So we love everybody. It's a dark time in the hobby. Thank you for everyone who's ever contributed anything to this hobby. We need you. We need more like you coming up with people phasing out. We need people growing this thing. And we're all there. Oh, one other little announcement. The Wolfman episode's still in the works. I have not received an email from Cult TV Man saying the Wolfman kit's in. You haven't, have you? So I haven't got my copy yet. I've seen other people with it. So when that happens, we'll do a unboxing live on here, probably a live episode for that. And then talk about some Wolfman kits that episode. So if you do have Wolfman stuff, still send it in. We'll do it. So we're working on it. And we love everybody. Well, most people. We'll see you next time. Say goodbye, Scott. Oh! The gallery. There is a lot of stuff for the gallery this episode. Some really nice things. Check it out. I was just telling you, I love, like, you can see when people have built something and when people aren't building. And when people have built something, the gallery submissions get longer and shorter, like every other episode. So anybody is welcome in the gallery. Any model that you completed, could be a car, a plane, a figure, whatever. If you're working on it, you watch this show, I'd love to show it. So send it in. Say goodbye, Scott.
You sure?
Yes.